After all this, you still...
I still want that gas, yes. And you had better deliver.
Hey, listeners. Joining me in the greenhouse, we have our full staff for what will be our final release of the year, as we try to recap 2023 in all of its craziness, and maybe our crazier predictions of what to come in 2024. How are we doing, gang? How's everyone feeling?
You know, I'm here. I'm awake. I'm kind of just excited to be here. Really. You know,
Would you say woke?
You know, I'm kind of sleepish. I'm playing. I don't know. Like, I think 2024 was a wild year, so I'm excited to get into it. Like, even
2024 was a wild year?
Damn.
2023. I know.
Here.
I'm coming
from
from the future. Yep. Here I am.
Damn, it's crazier than this one.
Take his predictions seriously.
Right. No.
We know.
2023 was a crazy year. I like so much stuff happened that I forgot happened until like I actually like decided to look back and look into what was going on. It was an insane year, but excited to get into it.
Josh, what about you?
I mean, yeah, I think it's a good summary. I mean, we've got, this fun vibe for this episode. It's like the Smash Brothers Ultimate marketing thing, right? Everyone is here. We're all here to, rip apart the year, rip apart the future. I don't know. We'll see where this journey takes us today.
Sky, what about you?
I hate everything. I hate what 2023 has created other than me being fianced. This year has been this year has been really shitty. Next year I'm assuming will be sorta similarly shitty, but I will just give less fucks. So let's see. Let's see if that actually happens.
So this has been a big year for all of us, branching out into more uncomfortable and new areas of inquiry, right? Also, this has been the era of the death of Twitter. Like, it's really died this year, I'd reckon, right? So I did have to make a callback to 2020 Black Twitter. Exactly when and how are everyone's superpowers activating?
Man, I got mine a while ago, but I'm keeping it a secret.
Catch Josh up real quick. Hang on.
Well, he already alluded to it. It's time travel.
Right. Hey, don't tell anybody, okay? It's a secret. Don't tell anybody.
That was like the peak of like mid-COVID insanity, where everyone was just like, you know what? Black people are getting powers like at the end of end of 2020. Trust me, dog.
Yep. December 21st, 2020. Black people were supposed to get their powers, but just in the normal world fashion, it got to us a little late. So some of us are having a Juneteenth party for our powers. But yes, we were supposed to get our powers, and I think I did get a power. Literally, I think every year I've been giving less fucks, and I think that is my superpower. Literally, I don't think other people have the superpower. I just see something, and I used to give a fuck about it. I'm like, fuck you, and like that is a power. And
I need
so
that superpower.
I think that's what I've gotten. I think it's still activating because, Black people never can get anything equitably. But so it should be maybe 4 full years after I would officially be completely zero fucks. But right now I'm just like at a 50% fucks.
Man, aren't you two looking forward to growing old together?
I'm just happy for whatever time we get. I'm saying that seriously and with a crooked smile. I'll say it that way. I mean, I said this like at our engagement, and this is a joke that came up like perennially, right? But it was in the midst of all of like the Supreme Court decisions going on.
Oof.
And we were literally like, I don't even know if our marriage is going to be legal.
Mm.
Like, just in case, if it doesn't, I mean, I don't give a fuck.
You might
What
have
about
to,
you?
if you slap some tanner on, then they won't, you know.
You know. How about this? This is I will give one prediction right now. I think next year the Supreme Court is going after Loving v. Virginia. I'm putting $2 on that bet.
Hey, as long
There's not a
as
case before him, so I think that might be an easy $2 to bet against.
my hope is that they focus on black and white relationships and like leave the rest of us alone.
Wait.
She's not white. Shut up. They're gonna be like, nah, we're taking her as one of ours just to get you, John.
Oh no.
That's my second prediction. The Supreme Court is somehow going to fuck up how we define race.
That is more likely than the Loving v. Virginia. It's like they'll figure out how to give reparations for everyone, but they'll make everyone black.
Right,
So everyone gets
somehow Elon Musk is gonna get reparations because he's African American.
Yeah. And it's like the double up, so he gets more reparations than all the rest of us. That's more likely to happen.
Hey, the amount he gets in federal funds alone.
That is his reparations, honestly.
Right,
like,
he is getting reparations. You just got to be the right type of African, man.
Any other predictions before we get into it?
Who do you guys think is gonna win the presidency?
No.
I
I truly have no predictions. I think Trump is going to get disqualified in like the final hour, and then Biden is going to have a heart attack on election night. That's my real prediction.
Someone still has to win the election.
No.
I love her prediction. Her prediction is that all of them die. Yep, I'm cool with that.
All right, mine is probably like, I mean, there's things that can change. I think particularly as as we kind of review some of the events from this year, right? I mean, if depending on how certain things in like Gaza go down. And some other issues, right? I could see this changing, but my prediction at the moment is that it's going to be Biden winning. Trump will win the GOP nomination. I think. I mean, we've seen some updates on some of the court cases with his removal from the ballot. And like the Michigan one specifically was like, yeah, he can stay on the primary ballot, but the general might be a different question. And it's interesting because, like, I mean, I had, like, even told my students in a class at one point, I was like, honestly, if I was in charge of that effort, like, hypothetically, I would, the better strategy would be to let him win the primary and just kick him off the general election ballot, right? Like, that's, like, almost a surefire way of winning. But I mean, it looks like that could be how the things play out potentially, and I don't even necessarily know that it's necessary to produce that outcome, but it might be one of the major factors too, and even just like sort of the guilt of the sort of the assassination in the court of public opinion might also have an impact on that too. Who knows?
Yeah, I think Kamala is definitely going to be president sometime in 2024. I don't know. I feel like
what powers do we think she got?
I think.
Y'all think she got powers? Wait a second.
I don't think she has powers. I think she has influence, and she talks well. She has all of the minority aspects that the Democratic Party are trying to like pretend like they care about. And I think maybe Joe Biden will have that heart attack. He'll win. He'll have the heart attack. They'll pretend like he didn't have the heart attack. And then like they'll wheel out his robot so he can actually get sworn in. And then 2 weeks from there, it's going to be like, he died. And then Kamala's going to be president.
I think less likely than Joe Biden having a heart attack. I think there will be a ridiculous 3-week discourse about whether or not we should call it a heart attack.
Without a doubt.
Basically, what I'm hearing is that making any bets on Gavin Newsom doing a Napoleonic takeover of the Democratic Party is probably a poor bet.
Dude, we literally saw him promise he wouldn't do that.
He literally he was like, I will never do anything to piss off the Democratic Party. I love them so much.
I mean, I don't know if it was quite that pathetic, but you know,
that's why I will be the 2028 nominee. Like,
oh gosh. Well, let's maybe get to the broad summary, and then we can probably try to break this up by months we deem significant. But starting in the third millennium of the 21st century, 2023.
Third millennium of the 21st century?
No, in the third millennium, we're in the 21st century.
Okay. I was like, what?
You know, sometimes you break your own balls.
Time compressors, you know, like
time traveling, time compressing, time is having a rough one, folks.
Hey man, after COVID, time's not even real. Okay.
Well,
it never was.
We live at the end of time.
Right.
We live at the end of. I mean, you know, maybe I have been too hard on Fukuyama. Maybe we are at the end of history. All right, so from Wikipedia, the year has seen the decline in severity of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd like to see your source. With the World Health Organization ending its global health emergency status in May.
That ain't got shit to do with nothing.
Catastrophic natural disasters included the fifth deadliest earthquake of the 21st century striking Turkey and Syria, leaving nearly 60,000 people dead. Cyclone Freddy, the longest lasting recorded tropical cyclone in history, leading to over 1,400 deaths in Malawi and Mozambique. Storm Daniel, which became the deadliest cyclone worldwide since Cyclone Nargis, after killing at least 11,000 people in Libya. A major 6.8 magnitude earthquake striking western Morocco, killing 2,960 people, and a 6.3 magnitude triplet earthquake striking western Afghanistan, killing over 1,400 people. Not that this is written on the page, I should also stress this has been the warmest winter of our lives.
It's been the warmest year of our lives. Like,
it'll be warmer next year.
Has it been the warmest year ever?
Year on record, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That is a very sad asterisk.
The Russian invasion of Ukraine and Myanmar civil war have continued, and a series of coups, several armed conflicts, and political crises broke out in numerous African nations. An escalation of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict occurred in October when Hamas, which governs the Gaza Strip, led an attack on Israel, leading the latter to declare war on Hamas. Furthermore, the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict ended after over 100,000 Armenians fled the region after a Azeri military invasion. 2023 witnessed a banking crisis, resulting in the collapse of numerous American regional banks.
As well as that was this year. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's been a long year. As well as the buyout of Credit Suisse by UBS in Switzerland. Among American banks, the two largest banks which collapsed were Silicon Valley Bank and First Republic, the third and second largest banking collapses in U.S. history, respectively. Furthermore, numerous acquisitions in various industries were announced, some of the largest and most notable being October's energy acquisitions with ExxonMobil and Chevron buying Pioneer Natural Resources and Hess, respectively. The luxury fashion holding company Tapestry, Coach New York and Kate Spade New York, announcing its purchase of Capri Holdings, i.e. Michael Kors and Versace, and the closure of Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. RIP. In the realm of technology, 2023 has seen the continued rise of generative AI models with increasing applications across various industries. These models, leveraging advancements in machine learning and natural language processing, have become capable of creating realistic and coherent text. Citation needed. Images, citation needed. And music, citations needed.
All of those things are like literally like,
I mean, you can make
right now to like because of how bad they are to the world and everything. Like I hate Wikipedia. I love Wikipedia, but I hate it because how are you just gonna put that and then not put nothing else about?
Right.
The fuck shit that AI is doing.
I mean, I will say it is cool, making Hank Hill sing "Ballin'," but aside from that,
Outside of that,
Here's
it's pointless.
my next prediction for 2024. We will start outsourcing episodes to AI.
oh my god,
Yikes.
oh no,
Just one day you're gonna feel like I'm not really in the mood to craft an outline. I'm just gonna type it into ChatGPT and it'll spit it out for us.
Well, okay. So then, what's worse? Is it worse to ask ChatGPT to write the outline and then do an episode based on the outline it gives you, or even worse, write the outline but then have a generative language model speak for you?
Well, the
worse?
latter's way worse.
Okay, I just wanted to check. I just
They're
wanted to
both
see what the consensus
horrible.
was.
They're both horrible. AI is horrible. If you use AI, you're horrible.
Okay, so you think both are
Not-
equally horrible, and
Okay,
then
I'll read for not if you use AI, you're horrible. If you use AI instead of using creativity or a creative person, you're horrible.
but Sky, not everyone has talent.
Then don't do that thing. Get another hobby. I don't know what else to tell you.
You heard it here,
Dun,
folks.
dun.
Oh boy.
I think
I
you should have AI write your wedding vows.
Oof.
Oh no. Oh no.
Maybe I should. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up a window and actually do that. I want to see what it comes up with.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second.
I mean, we're literally joking, but one of my bosses had AI write a meaningful letter to her dad, who really likes handmade letters and stuff. She had AI do that for their wedding anniversary.
Oof.
Yeah. I know a person who did that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
And I roast her as many times as I
that's cold.
can. Yeah. For your dad, if it was for some random person, okay. But for your parents who have been married,
You gotta write that out yourself. Come on.
you got to write it out yourself. It's happening. I just want you to know this is real.
Listen, I feel like it's very easy for something like that. You can just write a one-liner, rent Crocodile Dundee 3. All right. An AI arms race between private companies has continued since the late 2010s, with Microsoft-backed OpenAI and Google owner Alphabet today most dominant among firms. We did cover some of that in our recent episode about AI. John, did you get a chance to look at those AI generated wedding vows by chance?
I did. I don't think it's that terrible. I mean, it's not great.
Can you read them in robot voice?
I don't know how to do robot voice, but it's so corny. As I stand here before you today, my heart is overflowing with gratitude and love. It's just very generic, you know.
Gratitude just
gratitude.
That's the most incel wedding vow ever.
Yeah, it's.
Thank you for taking my virginity.
This is what you write. You use this for conferences when you win a bullshit award and you don't give a fuck about the people in the audience. This is what you use AI for, not for your wedding vows, not for anything meaningful. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm just kind of glancing through them. It looks very, very cookie cutter. It's. I feel like they just kind of threw as many words as they could to just kind of make it stick. It's I promise to cherish and honor you, to stand by your side through every twist and turn that life may bring. I'm like, okay, well, that's
promise to cherish and honor. Isn't cherish and honor the vow itself usually?
Yeah. I vow to be your confidant, your partner in all things, and your unwavering support. In moments of joy, I will celebrate with you. In times of sorrow, I will hold you close, offering comfort and solace. It doesn't sound horrible, but it just doesn't sound like a thing that a normal person would write about a long-term relationship, you know?
Well,
It's very...
Have you seen those videos of these dudes being getting up there on their wedding day at the altar, and it'll be what do you want to say as your vows? And they're I can't wait to fuck you. And like they say that in front of their families, like in front of the justice of the peace. They say that, and it's like, do you want to say anything else to your future wife? They're like, no.
Nah,
Have you been on social media lately? I'm pretty sure that just is like the future of these vows.
It's like maybe an AI vow would be good for some of these people. I mean, I'm kind of going back on what I said before.
No, I kind of like that vow. You know, I just can't wait to fuck you. That's a pretty good.
I know, but that's the thing is before, at least like, you know, in the Vine era, it would be like a guy like with a guitar strumming it out of tune. I love you, bitch. Damn, never. They were trying to be sweet with it. Now it's just like the most annoying Reddit style guy. Like, I need my balls empty. Like, why I don't give a shit about that. What's wrong with you?
I can't wait to empty my balls inside you.
What the fuck? Oh,
that is the romantic version of that guy.
That's a great
like
vow. I don't see what the problem is. As a married man myself, I don't see what the problem is.
In front of Nan.
To see my offsprings pour from your
in front of people.
Dude, I'm crazy.
I'm telling you, like, what they're not going to get into in this Wikipedia article, and like, I try not to be like a internet Puritan who's like freaked out by it, but the rise of like Andrew Tate style misogyny is so cringe because
it is.
Because it's like, okay, great, like it's regressive, it's bad, but also like Andrew Tate is the fruitiest man alive. Like
he
did all that horrible shit, and he looked like a fruitcake while he did all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
he do,
and
he looked like I hate when you see a biracial kid and like they look just too much like the one thing and not like half and half. And he looked too British. Like it looked like no black got in there.
Like he tries to do like a hybrid, like American and British accent, and he sounds like
no, the British, that is the main, like, it was like all the British genes just took over that man's body. And it was just like, you need to be British. I mean, ugly ass teeth, look like that, you know, eyes too close together, all these things.
Bro's genetics really got colonized. That's crazy.
It literally did.
No, and the worst thing is like when he first came on the scene, the first video we all saw, at least I saw, was the one where he admits his dad was in the CIA.
Yeah. Daddy's genes was playing checkers, not chess.
I mean, eventually when, you know, things really spin out of control for this podcast and we start doing a relationship advice segment, God forbid.
Oh, I would love that. That'd be great.
I do want to comment on like how there's like this, I don't know if it's because there's more like Gen Z on the internet, so we're forced to see it, or like it's always been like this to some extent. But there's like a certain cohort of online person whose like only issue seems to be dating.
Yeah, they don't have any friends.
The biggest problem in life
they don't
is
have no hobbies.
It's just like, I can't get a partner, so I'm like blaming the opposite sex for all my lot in life. And then of course, like, you know, in a practical sense, that leads these, especially for guys, it can lead them to like the right wing, because that anti-feminist worldview, you know, puts them in a natural alliance with the political right. But you see like weird, highly online women do same things as well. But it's just a certain kind of online person for whom like their only problem is that they can't get a partner, and it's the world's fault that they can't. I don't know.
It's not so much that it's the world's fault. It's more specifically like, you know, the entirety of, you know, womanhood's fault that they
right. It's like,
and like, I mean, and it's like, I know before, like, you know, there's like, you know, like friend zone rhetoric and stuff like that. But like, I mean, you know, those people, like, they're not even getting friend zoned. They're like, you know, they don't have any female friends because they only see them as, you know, sexual objects.
Right. And you can't even like begin to call them out on that. You can't even begin to be like, can you be fucking normal around girls first, and then you think about all that? Like,
that's also, honestly like, what it is. It's really just like, yeah, honestly, that's literally what it is. It's like step 1, be normal. Step 2, do stuff you want to like touch, literally touch grass, go outside.
Big rule like, number 55: be normal.
Be
It's
normal and touch grass. Go outside. Go
Hey,
to the
I
gym,
touched
go-
grass and there's no woman in sight. I mean,
Literally.
It's like, why are you so mad that a woman doesn't want to be near you when you have no hobbies, no personality, no friends, no swag, you can't cook, you can't clean, you're not interesting, you're not
that's
dynamic.
why he's angry. He doesn't have a woman in his life because he's
It's
not
like,
interesting. He needs
bro.
someone else interesting.
Yeah.
in his
It's like
life.
you have nothing to bring to the table, and you're like, why doesn't anyone want to be with me? Like, I wonder why. You're boring. You're boring. Sorry. No one told you. Your mommy should have told you. You're boring.
I didn't want to derail the episode any further than we already have, but I don't think I ever told anyone this story, so I'm gonna put this guy on blast. You know who you are. Be ashamed.
Loser.
Dox him right now.
That's right. Go for it.
I don't know. He was
Full
in
name,
it-
address.
all I'm gonna say is that he really tried to be an Atlanta fuckboy, failed at that, and is trying to be like a Brooklyn hipster now. So the guy's a fake act no matter what. But he was basically in this group chat with us talking about like he was blaming all his problems on women and shit. And it's like, bro, nobody told you to go into debt and like lease a charger. Nobody told you to do that. Women did not like send you a letter saying like we are not gonna fuck with you unless you like get behind on payments for a charger. That's on you. And then
Unless you're 3 months behind on your charger payments, do not talk to me.
right, like that seems like a you problem, dog. And he's trying to be like, no, women. I'm like, so I basically asked him like to his face, like, you know, for a guy who claims to have been to a YDSA meeting once, like, how do you not know that like it's this capitalist order or like, you know, societal conditions that are causing these problems for you, or maybe even personal. I don't like it, but like it could be personal responsibility too. It could be all of these things that are causing your problems. How is it women writ large responsible for this? And the dude like literally typed it out with no sense of irony. No, women are behind capitalism, and I like I threw my phone at the wall.
Damn.
I threw my like I'm telling you, like stupid politics is back. Idiocy is back in a big way, and like as of late, like I've been on this mindset of like you have got to get back in the real world and like talk to people face to face because people are able to double down on bullshit a lot more strongly on the internet. But anyhow,
I don't know.
Wait till
That
I
sounds
tell my
hard. I
poor
don't want to do
mama
it.
that she's in charge of capitalism.
it is hard, right? And I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. We've been doing this podcast for so long, like it kind of is the thing of like I'm not gonna stop now, but at the same time, like I recognize that like there is a limit to what we can do on the internet versus like when you're face to face with somebody, you can kind of make the call a little better, or you can like call people out on their bullshit a little more effectively. But it's hard work. Doing that kind of work in the real world is very hard.
That's true.
Okay, so I at least in my review of this year, I tried to do a rough count of how many times the vibe shifted. I would say conservative estimate at least 5 times the vibe has shifted this year.
That's very conservative.
Yeah.
I mean, could the vibe have shifted if it already sucked?
I mean,
they just got worse.
well,
They
that's
get
what I'm
worse.
saying. So does the vibe getting worse? Is that a vibe shift, or is that just like the vibe remaining as it is?
No, that's what I'm thinking. Like, to me, it seems
I
like
think it's a
just
shift.
maybe. Okay.
If it's like, wow, I can actively feel the vibe being worse, I feel like that's a shift.
Let's see. Do we want to start at January, or is there any particular month we should start with? Roll
yeah,
D12.
Yeah, roll D12. No, let's just go January.
Yeah,
Let's
just
not
pick out the super important event.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, here we go. All right. Nobody gives a shit about Croatia joining the Schengen area.
The funeral of Pope Benedict. I forgot that was this year.
Yeah. So funeral of Pope Benedict, anniversary of liberal 9/11.
Yeah.
We had the Brazilian January 6th, January 8th that we covered this year.
Oh yeah.
Deadly cold snap in Afghanistan, 10th to 17th of January. Shoot. The Tigray War starts at least 16th January. Vietnamese president resigns 17th of January. Trying to see.
Unrest in Israel. I don't think this is related to, because what we kind of a lot of people forget is there was a lot of these like democracy protests in Israel earlier in the year. I don't remember when they started. I don't think they started here though.
What, and it's kind of getting lost in the October 7th and onwards coverage, right? Like there's a way that it's not getting discussed that I think might put it into context, right? Of like, you know, Netanyahu's administration is not exactly all that popular at the moment. And there was like the judicial like reforms controversy in Israel, right? So some spectators are trying to like, you know, make this link of like October 7th is this like useful diversion for Netanyahu's administration to use while they can like, you know, lose the heat from those unpopular judicial reforms. But that's kind of gotten lost in the side of it. Yeah. And I think it's something that has to be understood in the context of this whole issue is like, you know, not only is the massive like, you know, slew of injustices being committed against the Palestinians, but you have a right-wing authoritarian, somewhat anti-democratic and, you know, corrupt to certain extents administration in Israel right now.
Yeah. I mean, I maybe even go further to say it's like overtly corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Extremely corrupt.
Unfortunately, yeah. But yeah, that also popped off this January. Let's see. February, we already jumped into it now. Oh, February, you had the Chinese spy balloon nonsense.
Oh, yes, that was awesome.
Oh my god!
Like, some of these things, like I was like, oh, I thought that was years ago. The Norfolk Southern train.
Yeah, the Norfolk. That was like a major vibe shift. Like,
yeah,
I think I was doing okay January. Then that happened in like
that was
early February. Yeah,
I think I had to like pause for 2 weeks. I was not okay with that. Oh my god. You had the earthquakes in Turkey on 6th February.
Well, closer to home. I mean, there was the MSU campus shooting too.
It's not even listed here. It's not even listed here.
Yeah, they don't have like any of those types of things listed. It looks like.
Of course, because then that will be twice as long.
Right.
If you list every mass shooting that happens in fucking America.
Yeah. It has to be an editorial choice not to include them, because I don't like, otherwise, you know, like, I mean, if anyone can freely edit this page, right? Like, there has to be a conscious effort to just not.
Maybe it's under the deaths one. No.
It's probably not under deaths. It's not.
It's not.
We'll have to go through that too. Oh my gosh. Let's see.
March.
Oh, March is when the bank started failing, right?
Yeah.
That was a good time. I was so
Silicon
hopeful.
Valley Bank. Iran and Saudi Arabia agreed to resume diplomatic relations. All talks mediated by China. That was interesting. OpenAI launches ChatGPT 4. Okay, let's see. ICC issues an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin. Okay. The IPCC Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change releases the synthesis report of its 6th assessment on climate change.
And absolutely nothing happens from that.
Yeah, IPCC that's got to be one of the most depressing jobs, bros. You get on there, you got to write the packet. It's the same shit you wrote last time. Like, we are fucked.
Yes.
Same advice. Same.
Please
all
do
of
something.
The shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is how to. This is what you do, and they're like, "Well, this is useless."
Right.
And let's see. 26th March, large-scale spontaneous protests erupt across Israel in the wake of Benjamin Netanyahu firing his defense minister who criticized the government's judicial overhaul plan. Oh man. Okay. Brazil and China signed an agreement to trade in their own currencies, ceasing the usage of the United States dollar. Yeah, March was when all that talk of multipolarity was really kicking off in the editorial sphere. The International Court of Justice rules the United States violated its treaty of amity with Iran.
Oh,
I did
and
not hear
nothing
about that.
happened.
I mean, it's the
Does-
same thing. Like they issue a warrant for Vladimir Putin and nothing happened. So it's like,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. We're in
They just
April
be
now.
doing shit.
Okay, 4th April. I like how they didn't list anything on April 1st. We've all agreed nothing happened. It's on April 1st
Yeah.
anymore. Okay, Finland becomes the 31st member of NATO. 5th April, again, and this felt like it was a long time ago, but this also happened this year. There were clashes between Palestinians and the Israeli police at Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Well,
Yeah,
because it feels like just so minor compared to,
Exact-
like
Like, what happened
Mhm.
now? What
the,
happened
you
now?
know,
Yeah.
complete escalation of it.
Let's see. Yeah, 2 document leaks from the Pentagon detailing foreign military aid to the Russian invasion of Ukraine are leaked on the internet. The Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, or JUICE, is launched by the European Space Agency.
These
15th
niggas
The
love
SpaceX
acronyms.
rocket blew up,
Yes.
the SpaceX, yeah, that blew up.
explodes 4 minutes into
4 minutes after launch.
That
yeah,
was so funny.
I remember this one. Nuclear power ends in 50 years in Germany, or so. I don't know why they took that route, but Germany decides to end nuclear power.
Why?
I'm not in.
What?
Okay, the nuclear power discourse is one like I don't like participating in, but basically like
Howard.
I'm all for nuclear power, honestly.
I would rather, exercise the idea that energy policy is as opaque to the public as foreign policy is. Particularly because we don't control those levers, right? So nuclear power is at least like allegedly, and this is true, right? That like it doesn't emit as much carbon as fossil fuels do, and it can meet current energy consumption demands, right? But the thing that never gets answered to my satisfaction, and also because I have not read a lot about this, is how do you justify the mining cost on the earth? Because you do have to do extraction to get the uranium. And if you're mining out of places like the Congo, how do you ensure that those mining practices aren't destabilizing already unstable conditions in these areas that have been destabilized by extractive capitalism?
I'm actually not sure where the fuel for nuclear reactors actually comes from. Great question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if you're mining uranium for it, you got to get it from somewhere, and of course you got to refine said uranium. But if you're pulling something from the earth, there is a cost. That's all I'm asking. Is like, how does that circle get squared? If you can answer that question, brilliant. If you can't, then we're back at square one. That's how I see it, and I accept that there's probably a limit to my perspective.
I just off of a quick Google search, it looks like you can actually just extract uranium from soil. It just naturally occurs over time.
Okay.
Yeah, just a quick Google search, Adi. What the heck?
You're right. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm an expert. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm an expert.
Ideologically, confirmed rigid beliefs, and a quick Google search.
Okay, but like, how much is in the soil to justify it? Like, are you just taking dirt out of something and you're like, oh, it's solid?
Enough
take a
that when we say
magnet?
touch grass, we're actually like threatening someone.
I want you to touch grass, bitch.
Just soak in that uranium.
Yeah, I know that like for the Manhattan Project, I think they were like mining it at Oak Ridge. But then I also know that like they get a good amount from the Congo, so I don't know the political economy of it all.
No, that's a fair point. It's like we want the good energy, but we don't want to hurt people, right?
It's just one of those things that like in an ecological perspective and in a Marxist framework, right? It's like these things are total systems with multiple moving parts. You got to address all of it. I don't like silver bullet logic unless you're dealing with vampires. Then of
Silver
course
bullets
use
for
a silver
werewolves.
bullet. I thought if you don't shoot a vampire, it becomes a werewolf. But I could be wrong.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What? Is that a thing? Wait, I could be wrong.
I don't know, man. I must
I
have
got-
heard some wrong.
Adi, I got like 30 different tabs open on Firefox right now, and they're all just wildly different shit that I don't even understand what's going on.
And all of them are related to werewolves.
I don't know what was with werewolves and vampires when we were coming up, man. Like between
Twilight? I don't
between Twilight and even Goosebumps, right? Like there was a bunch of shit. I don't know.
It's so funny. I was recently talking to my wife about this. We were talking about like movies and whatever. And you know that old movie Van Helsing? I love that movie.
Yeah.
But like
That's an old
I was talking to her about it, and she was like, "Oh no, I hate all vampires and werewolves because that fad just like killed it for me." And I was like, "There was a fad," and I thought about it, I was like, "There really was." Like
There was, yeah. Everything
Yeah.
was vampires.
everything was vampires and werewolves. That's crazy.
I don't know why teen girls really wanted to fuck vampires and werewolves, but they did.
It was preempting the furries, you know?
I think there's a Gramscian analysis of this somewhere that I'm gonna read. I have to find it. Oh my god. So we were back in what, April, right? Okay.
hmm
Classic greenhouse gaslighting moment. Where are we in the outline? Okay, so we were at SpaceX's rocket crashing.
Yeah, we got-
420.
A mass cult suicide is uncovered in Kenya. Oh my god.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
This is a little
420
weird.
429 followers of the Good News International Ministries are found in shallow graves throughout the forest, with over 613 people missing.
Jesus.
My question is,
Yikes.
how can you call it a mass suicide if they're in shallow graves?
Yeah, who buried them?
Exactly.
I don't want to
And
know.
why do you bury people who commit mass suicide?
Well, what,
You gotta-
what else you gonna do?
You
with
gotta
them?
put them somewhere,
You
right?
can't just like
I mean-
leave them out.
But that's the thing. If you guys all committed suicide, who buried
Oh, I
them?
see. Yeah, someone didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
the person who pulled
purposefully.
the sword straw and now has to bury everyone.
Yeah,
You
it's called
bury
the-
someone and then you kill yourself somewhere else and then have somebody bury you and then so on and so forth.
This is
There's so many deaths.
crazy.
How did I not hear about this? This is crazy.
Right.
Because it was in Kenya.
Well, I'm telling you, if it happens in Europe, it's news. If it happened in Africa, it's an incident.
True.
hmm
Oh my god! And if it happens in America, it's just another day in Joe Brand's America.
Joe Byron.
Oh my god. Okay, May 1st. San Francisco-based First Republic Bank falls and is auctioned off by the US FDIC to JP Morgan Chase for $10.7 billion.
How you auction off a bank? That don't even sound fucking right.
I'm getting a 1 billion, get a 2 billion, can I get a 3? You auction it off like that. I would assume.
Well, obviously, but like that just don't sound like something that you should be able to do.
Like the banks sound like the people who should be running the auction, but you're auctioning the bank.
No, but
Like
the I would rather the FDIC did it than the banks doing their own auction.
I don't know if the FDIC is doing anything.
Well, all I know is that the FDIC, if there ever is a bank crash, they will give you 100K, at least up to that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insured or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm Don't have no more than that because they ain't gonna help you.
Oh God.
They said, "Fuck you! If you got more than that, you should invest, bitch."
Okay, this is unfortunate because this feels like the worst export of American violence. The 3rd of May, a school shooting occurs in Belgrade, Serbia. Like, how
Wow.
did it reach a point where we've exported the school shooting? This is sad.
19 people too.
Yeah, that's not good.
That
Hey,
is-
but at least it caused the government to increase regulation on gun ownership. America could never.
wow.
Yeah, but that's an anti-export.
A series of floods and landslides strikes villages in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, resulting in 400 deaths. And the 5th of May, the World Health Organization ends its declaration of COVID-19 as being a global health emergency, but continues to refer to it as a pandemic.
Make sense, bitch.
Listen,
What? Why? I don't.
Pick a horse and ride it. What are y'all doing?
So it's a pandemic, but it's not an emergency. Okay.
So the 6th of May, the next day, the coronation of Charles III and Camilla as king and queen.
You mean Queen Charles?
You mean queen and queen.
Right.
Of the United Kingdom and the other Commonwealth realms is held in Westminster Abbey, London. Okay, well, who else is... Who's still in the...
Bro, this shit sound like a D&D campaign. Fuck you mean Commonwealth realms, bro? What is happening?
So basically, I know that the Commonwealth Games are a thing, and I know that like everyone in red still shows up, but like the blue is everyone who's still in it.
Yeah, so it's Canada, Australia, New Zealand.
I'll never take a nigga from Canada seriously. Like, okay, bow down to the queen, bitch. Fake ass police officers, fake ass plays.
So the current Commonwealth: Antigua and Barbuda, Australia, the Bahamas, Belize, Canada, Grenada, Jamaica, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, and of course the United Kingdom itself.
Damn, them niggas ain't got shit no more. They used to have a lot. They ain't got shit no more. Damn. Also, Jamaica, I do remember, was trying to get away from the UK. I don't know if they're still in the works, but that is something that they were trying to do this year. Lessen the power, at least.
If Jamaica goes independent, I want to pull up in Kingston for the Independence Party.
Oh my god!
I feel like that would be lit. Oh my god!
Independence Carnival would be insane.
Okay, 7th of May, Syria is readmitted to the Arab League after being suspended since 2011.
What the fuck? How you just gonna suspend somebody? You ain't Arab no more. What the fuck?
You're not Arab enough.
I think it was the whole shit with Assad back in 2011.
No, it probably was with Assad, honestly.
Yeah, it's probably Assad probably did something.
Them niggas diet Arab now.
Listen, regardless of how you feel about Assad, he probably did something to deserve it. He seemed like the type. He definitely seemed like the type. Let's see. Moving forward. Canada and Saudi Arabia agree to restore full diplomatic relations after a breakdown in 2018 over the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi. How easily things are forgotten. Let's see. Russia and Belarus signed an agreement in Minsk allowing the stationing of Russian tactical nukes in Belarusian territory. 28th May, your boy Recep Erdogan, he's not my boy, wins again. I will say that it's because of Erdogan you have like the greatest Turkish memes of all time. Like Turkish memes are out of pocket.
Turkish memes are out of pocket.
Why are you telling me that this like this man is walking in like from the left corner of his spice like store? I cannot tell his gender, but he has a mustache. He pours honey and nuts into a jar and winks at me, and that's the video.
That's the video.
You have the Turkish barber videos coming out, and like I'm like, damn, your barber does all that for you? Shit.
I will say that it has been a great year for Turkey. Turkish Airlines has finally created a direct flight from Detroit. So they really are finding their demographic and going directly to the source. So I appreciate that about them. There's a lot of hairlines that are going to be changed in 24.
True.
Because
that's a good prediction. That's a good prediction.
That is.
I think
we're about to see hairlines we've never seen before.
Marx did not predict the rise of air travel enforced by hair transplant therapy. He did not.
Never, or BBLs, like any gender confirming surgery. He never could have thought what was going to happen.
Oh my god.
He doesn't have a guideline for this.
So this was a similar discourse that was going around at the same time. It's not going to be mentioned on Wikipedia. Remember when RFK was trying to like present like trans issues as like equivalent to like the evil vaccine?
Is he still in the race?
Like I don't know what
He's
it is.
he's running
around,
independent.
dude.
He is now. Fuck me.
Yeah, he announced his run for independence. I mean, like I would say, I don't know if he'll make it to the ballot, but that was a few months back.
I don't know what's going on, but I kind of feel like people are scared of syringes and are trying to like make that their political identity. Where it's like
I hate vaccines. Oh, I'm just a needle baby.
It's like this is when I saw the dumbest thing I ever seen in my life, which is like trans people are beholden to big pharma, and like big pharma is trying to make everybody trans.
Like what's the benefit?
Tell me where that's true. Tell me like.
Well, it's not the cheapest.
Can you say that about diabetes? Can you say that about like any other thing? People who need glasses, like what the fuck?
I am purely of the mind now that like all of this hype being made about the vaccine and a certain kind of like right-wing populist that it's nominally anti-pharma but doesn't challenge them in any meaningful way. It all just boils down to like a phobia of needles.
That's fair. I don't wear my glasses, and maybe it is a phobia. Maybe they are trying to turn us all trans. Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, so moving forward, we're now at June.
The train collision happened. Again, that's just another thing that I completely forgot about.
Yeah, the train collision in Odisha, India results in 296 deaths and more than 1,200 people injured. 14th of June, scientists report the creation of the first synthetic human embryo from stem cells without the need for sperm or egg cells. Again, it's all fun and games until that embryo grows up and his classmates like, you have no sperm, no egg. Kids will make fun of you for no fucking reason. 18th June.
A real person.
All right. 18th of June. Remember this: the Titan submersible implosion. All 5 crew members of Titan, a deep sea submersible exploring the wreck of the Titanic, are killed following a catastrophic implosion of the vessel.
Dude, okay, wait. Let me talk about this for a second. Okay,
Yeah,
I love this.
I took a trip to Europe as like a vacation, right around this time. I had no idea what was happening. Okay, I come back and just America is just different. Okay, like everyone's talking about how the Titanic makes a return somehow. Everyone's talking about how apparently there was like a fucking countdown to how much oxygen these people. That was insane.
No, and the weirdest part about the countdown is the Coast Guard already knew they were dead. So what was the point of the countdown?
Like I leave America for a week and everyone just loses their mind. It's insane.
They literally knew the moment that thing exploded, that it exploded. And they allowed for multiple different entities to still do a search for them.
That's psychotic.
But including Canada and America, because they went off the coast of Nova Scotia because they didn't want to go through American regulations. And then America helped get the remains of an exploded submersible that happened the day that they fucking went down. Like 4 hours within.
That's 4 hours. That's crazy.
This was honestly, like, I mean, I feel like this was just kind of one of those cases where it was like it had been 9 years since that Malaysia Airlines flight, was it 370 or whatever. I feel like they were just looking for like another, like, what kind of like ridiculous, like, can we find the remains, like, or are these people like missing or whatever story. I feel like that was just like a big part of it, because you're right, like it was like, they're really shouldn't have been really any sense of mystery or wonder about this. It should have just been like, okay, yeah, like this is exactly what happened. Move on.
Yeah. And there was a lot of hay already made, I think, about like, you know, the wealth of all the people on the boat and their recklessness in wanting to go there.
And the
Mhm.
mom that forced her son to go on
I
it,
Wait,
and
what?
yeah,
There's so much of this I don't know because I wasn't in the country for. What happened?
there was 5 people. One of them was the CEO of the corporation. There's like, and then the 4 other people were rich people. 2 of the 4 people were a father and son, where it was supposed to be the father and the mother who went, but the mom was like, "No, go spend time with your dad. Go have fun. Do this cool thing." And the kid's like, "I don't want to do this. This seems stupid and dangerous." And she's like, "No, go." And then he fucking dies.
Poor kid.
I know. He's the only person I feel bad about in this situation.
well, that's
Yeah.
another
Fuck that
thing
mama.
because here's the thing too, because like there was a lot of like good reporting about how like the company that did the submersible knew that there were problems at every step. Many
Mhm.
people blew the whistle, but the CEO like would not take no for an answer. And it was a stupid ass setup. Like basically once you were in, you were like pressure sealed. The material was not made to withstand the pressure, and furthermore, to control it, you're using like a 2005 Logitech video game controller and running it off of a
What?
TV. I'm being
Yeah.
serious.
What? What is
I'm
happening?
serious.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, because like literally, I had like the same controller more or less,
You're looking at it, I was like,
and I'm like, yeah,
what?
that's you know,
Yeah, it was really bad.
cost me like $20.
He had like stuff from Camping World as like for like holding on, and like lights and stuff. Like it was very handmade. He was a very smart person, like actually educated. He had too much fucking money to even know what to do with it, and he was whistleblowed like by somebody who worked at a company who was like, it it's not that it couldn't withstand the pressure. It's that every single time it did this journey, there were micro cracks in the glass because the glass wasn't regulated to go down that far, but it could go down that far. So
No,
every
no, no.
single
Let me
time,
rephrase. It was fiberglass for aircraft.
yes, but it still could withstand the pressure. It was regulated to withstand a certain amount of pressure, but they did this with the same machine over and over again. So there were successful missions. They have done this a few times, but because they're not using the right material, like glass, to go down that deep, there were micro cracks that led to the implosion.
So did it? So it just completely imploded under pressure.
Yeah, it just as soon as it hit, they were all just like a crushed like can of Coke. That is what happened.
Well, no,
Okay.
it wasn't as soon. They went down there. They were down there for a while. And then they lost communication, which they usually had a cell phone to communicate with.
A cell phone.
And because they were right above them, like there was a boat right above them in the water, that's how they communicated, because it still had range. And their communication went out. They couldn't talk to each other. They couldn't, like, it was just so many bad things. They jerry rigged this situation. He had too much money. They allowed him to have too much power. Stop letting white men do stuff, whatever they want.
I agree.
Well, I have objections. Josh does great works for the show, so I say let that white man do what he wants.
That one specific one. Sure.
Yeah, you get a pass.
But
I appreciate it.
but what I remember about how fucked the discourse was about this, right? This is also around the same time that like orcas are attacking people's yachts.
Oh yeah.
I'm
So-
on the orca side.
So on like there was this stupid ass like discourse about like, well, you should show sympathy for them regardless of whether or not they were rich. And there was this like renewal of like the rich people are oppressed discourse.
Ugh. Oh, come on.
Like capitalist is a slur discourse all over again.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And I think there's this like big like underlying question in all of this that like it never got addressed meaningfully, but like the subtext is there of like you're even in America, you're not allowed to admit you resent the 1%. You're not allowed to admit you resent like the capitalist class. Resentment of rich people is not virtuous, especially like on the right. Later that month, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the Wagner Group, what was it? Was this when they tried to do the coup, or was this? No, this wasn't when they do the coup. That's later. Hang on. Okay.
Well, the Wagner Group was an active participant like throughout the war.
Yeah. But I thought this was the coup they did. The coup they did came later.
Yeah. That was like they had seized a city.
Yeah. So let's see. 14th of July, SAG-AFTRA announces it will begin a strike against the major film and TV studios in protest of low compensation, ownership of work, and generative AI. 2023, you have the Greece wildfires on the 23rd of July. Tens of thousands of tourists fleeing roads and amid wildfires and a major heat wave in what officials say is the largest evacuation in the country's history.
My favorite part about that was all of the people who were tourists being like, they don't know what to do for me. They're running. They're evacuating. They don't know what to do for themselves. There are wildfire. It's a wildfire in Greece. Like nobody thought this was going to happen.
Mhm.
And there was just so many like tourists like, oh, this ruined my vacation. It's like, oh my God, you get burned up, please.
Okay, August 1st, global warming. The world's oceans reach a new record high temperature of 69.73 degrees Fahrenheit, exceeding the previous record in 2016. July is also the hottest month on record globally average surface air temperatures by a considerable margin. And on the 8th of August, you had the 2023 Hawaii wildfires. So 17,000 acres of land are burned and at least 100 people are killed, with 4 others missing, when a series of wildfires break out on the island of Maui. 16th to the 21st of August, Hurricane Hillary strikes the Baja California Peninsula and later Southern California, the region's first in 84 years. The 21st of August, you had the 2023 Canadian wildfires. 68% of the Northwest Territories are forced to evacuate to other parts of the country due to wildfires. What else?
This is the year nature fights back.
Fights
I mean,
back.
it's been the years that nature's been fighting back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a string.
What else we got? Oh, go
We
ahead.
also, on the 4th of August, we have the Montgomery Brawl.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Talk about it. Yeah.
So, in Montgomery, Alabama, we know the history there. There was a co-captain of a ship trying to assist a ferry to dock, which is his job, and there was a group of white people who were on their own little boat who were in the way and decided that they didn't want to move and they wanted to be extremely disrespectful, and they went up to try to fight the co-captain. The co-captain throws his hat in the air and starts to take on the 7 or 8 dudes who come up to fight him. While that is happening, there are people who are on the ferry that is trying to dock who see this, who are the co-workers of this man, who start to help. There is someone who jumps off of the ferry to swim over to fight people. There are people who are on the docks that just go in and start fighting these white people who are trying to like gang up on this one black man, and it becomes a brawl. Like they are fighting. And there's a few people who go to jail. A lot of them are the white people who are a part of it. But there are also there's a man who hits a woman with a folding chair, bumps her on the head a few times. He ends up going to jail, but I just heard he did not get charged. They decided not to charge him. It like literally just came out this month.
Incredible.
So yeah, it was a very nice time knowing everything that happens in Alabama, knowing the racism that was obviously there when the white folks decided that they wanted to start fighting a man who was doing his job and telling them what to do. It was a community moment and a great time to be on Twitter, especially Black Twitter. And I'm very happy I got to see that. It was the day after my birthday, so any birthday blues I was having kind of went away when I saw that, because it's just so amazing to see the community efforts and
all come together.
Black history is every day.
Black history is every day. So there's not all gloom that happens. And a lot of the white people did go to jail because they started the fight. So amazing time in history.
You do love to see it.
Speaking of fights, on the 15th of September, the UAW begins a strike against the three largest automakers, namely Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis.
Did we miss the writer strike?
No, I mentioned it earlier.
Okay. I heard SAG-AFTRA, but I didn't hear writers.
I think writers started at least around the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty much it was pretty much back to back. And
because they don't even have the Starbucks strikes mentioned on this. They don't have
Those were pretty brief, weren't they?
I didn't follow them too closely this year, unfortunately.
There's still a lot of union efforts, a lot of Starbucks, not a lot, but a good amount that have started union efforts have completed them. So they do have union, and they do have union representation, but there is still a lot of union busting from Howard Union Buster Schultz, Starbucks CEO and demon in charge.
Yeah.
And friend of Israel.
Yikes.
Big friend. Big friend of Israel.
I mean, luckily the UAW, the strike, I think was ultimately very successful. They got a crazy good deal.
Yeah,
it was fun to work on. Fun, glad to see the union popping off, especially since they ousted all their very corrupt leadership, and actually was able to be a lot more militant than have been in the past.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the union episode we did was probably one of the fun ones we really got a chance to do this year. But I think seeing that like there is a wellspring of radical action and like solidarity, even in what we've deemed to be like a pretty depressing year, it's those things you have to hold on to.
The UAW strike just like shows how diverse the auto industry is, and like if you would go to any striking site, you would see a rainbow of people, like different like colors, different races, different sexualities, different all of that. And it's just that's what it means to be like a union person. It's not this white union guy from the East Coast. I'm union in here. Like it is normal everyday people, especially when you look at it in Michigan. very diverse group of people who are in the unions.
For sure.
Let's see. Moving forward from there, 21st of September, Rupert Murdoch, another demon, announces his retirement and passes his businesses on to his son Lachlan.
What kind of name is that?
Wait, what? Wait, right? What?
Lachlan Keith McMurdoch is an Australian British American businessman and mass media heir.
Damn. Looking at him, the British and the Australian was fighting.
That's Pops. That's Pops.
He was fighting.
There's Lachlan.
They was fighting.
Murdoch led News Corp and Fox and formerly Sky Group. Let's see. This was also just a rare France L, actually a common France L this year.
Right, like always.
I mean, that's the thing is France was at their best when the emperor was Italian. What does that tell you, folks?
Yeah.
What does that tell you? 24th of September, the 2023 Nigerian crisis. French President Emmanuel Macron announces that France will end its military presence in Niger and will recall its ambassador from the country. Let's see. Moving to October. So this is a literal vibe shift because I remember like probably the 3rd or 4th of October. I'm setting up the episodes to talk about because this is also not mentioned here. Former Senator, now I forgot her name. Dianne Feinstein. Dead. Yeah, Dianne Feinstein dies around the same time Kevin McCarthy is removed.
Yep.
As House Speaker. And I thought like that would be like all of the coverage we had to do that week. And then as soon as I upload that episode, that's when the 7th of October incidents are happening in Israel. And I'm like, God.
October was probably like maybe the craziest month of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah.
I will say, rest in peace to a real demon, Dianne Feinstein. She is so evil. I know the devil himself had to be at the opening of the gates being like, my liege. I'm not gonna, I joke about this, but she really did. I don't care what anyone said. She killed Harvey Milk. I will go into a whole thing with you if you want to, but she killed Harvey Milk.
I might have to edit
allegedly, maybe.
I may have to heavily edit that.
Allegedly.
I like how
okay. She profited off of the death of Harvey Milk. How about
that was the thesis of the episode, kinda.
Yeah, I basically said, regardless of what you believe, the person who stood most to benefit was Dianne Feinstein, and I'll leave it at that. Oh my God, the new paradigm for editing the podcast is only edit Sky's clips.
We talked about putting a pin in every time I say something ridiculous so he can just go back to it.
Just click a pen into the mic. It's like that's where I know where it is.
But that's the thing. When do I don't say something ridiculous? So maybe just don't have me on the podcast.
Oh no. All right. So let's see. 7th of October, right after Israel-Hamas war, Hamas launches an incursion into southern Israel from the Gaza Strip, prompting a military response from the IDF. Israel launches numerous airstrikes on Lebanon after rockets are fired by Hezbollah and further attempts are made to penetrate Israel. Same day, a series of earthquakes occur in Afghanistan, killing over 1,000 and injuring nearly 2,000, with tremors felt in Iran and Turkmenistan. The earthquakes are the deadliest in the country since 1998. And the next day, Israel's Security Cabinet formally declares war for the first time since 1973. And I think this was another big one. The 11th of October, ExxonMobil announces it will acquire Pioneer Natural Resources for $65 billion. The first of the two major energy industry acquisitions of the month. The second occurs less than 2 weeks later on the 23rd, where Hess announces it will be acquired by Chevron for $50 billion. The 13th, after this went under the radar. After British regulators' approval, Microsoft closes its $68.7 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard.
Which I am happy about. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Microsoft and I don't like Blizzard, but I'm glad Microsoft bought Blizzard.
Is it because they'll finally kill Blizzard, or because there's something good to be gained here?
It's more of just like rooting for the lesser demon. Like Blizzard was so bad. Like if you want to realize how bad Blizzard was, like go look at some of the lawsuits. Like it was just abhorrent.
I mean,
just
with the Overwatch stuff, like I know like that was
no.
You're saying even worse.
Take a big step back. Like worse. Like people were like sexually harassed. People were like sexually assaulted. The office culture was it was disgusting. Like Blizzard should be destroyed, like dismantled, completely gone. Because of the stuff but honestly the reason why Microsoft ended up buying Blizzard was more because of the less because of the actual content it was more for the IPs, which again, if we're looking at it from a consumer side, consumer standpoint, it's like I'm still happy with it because overall, I do like playing some of Blizzard's games, and hopefully we get better management. But all in all, Blizzard is like the worst of the worst. And this is saying something because I also hate Microsoft. Like we all know how much I hate Microsoft, but Blizzard is far worse.
Yeah, them lawsuits not looking good.
Yeah, it was insane.
Looking real bad.
So moving forward from there, 17th of October, an explosion occurs at the Al Ali Arab Hospital, where displaced Palestinians are taking refuge. Many fatalities are reported, but estimates vary significantly from 100 to...
I was gonna say, weren't there a bunch of hospitals?
This is just the one they reported.
This is the big one, because this is the one that
they said that they didn't bomb, right? And then they started bombing hospitals and being like, "Yeah, we do that shit."
Yeah, exactly. It's like everyone got so mad because people were like, Israel did it. Israel's like, no, we didn't. And then they're like, yeah, but what about the other ones? You know, like...
And they're like, well, like, they're like, no, we never would bomb a hospital. And then the next day bomb...
Well, you guys didn't understand Hamas was in the hospital.
Yeah. They had tunnels.
Remember, Hamas is everywhere. You got to blow up everything, right?
Yeah.
Could members could be on this podcast right now.
Right now.
Oh God!
Don't
joke about that. They'll actually get us.
Right? They will bomb us.
Yeah, like you might have to edit that out. Sorry.
We might have.
Yeah, sorry, bro. You're not leaving the country. I'm so sorry.
I might not put this in the final episode, but like I do have a trip to India scheduled for next year. So I'm applying for like the global entry thing where they don't feel your balls up at TSA.
Yeah.
They just let you through with facial
you don't want
to. TSA is going to randomly select you and then just play this podcast episode.
It's not that they won't touch your balls. It's that you're less likely to get your balls touched. It's not that they won't.
Well, no, the way it's supposed to work is like they know you, so there will be a camera looking at your face, and that'll let you in. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you so shy about getting your balls touched, dude?
Right, man, go for it.
Okay, because I'll tell you, because like every time this happens, and like now that I know it's happening to just anybody,
does this like regularly happen where people like random people feel up your balls?
This happens every single time he goes to.
It happens, and like the fact that it's happening to like it happens to white people or even black people too is weird, right? But it's like,
but it happens to you every single time.
It's just if a guy has big thighs and somewhat sizable balls. TSA is like, listen, bro, we got to check you, bro. We got to check this.
I got to check those balls.
And we got to check this.
Big.
And the thing is like every time they do it, right?
The balls are too big. They will kill you.
No. But then like they're like, now, sir, we can do this in privacy or we can do this out here. And then I ask, can we please do this in the private booth? And then the TSA guy,
do it out there, man.
But here's the thing: the TSA guy,
he needs a session.
He looks at me afraid. He's like, "Hey, bro, I don't want to be alone in a man. Please, I'm scared. I'm scared, man. I don't want to be alone in a room with a man. Can we do it out here? I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling pressured, dog. I can't do it." So it's like, okay, fine, we'll do it out here. They find the most embarrassing position to like bend me over at like 35 degrees and get my balls from the back.
While that's
the rest
crazy.
of the TSA line is going through and watching.
I just assumed that like it would be better if there's people there because maybe they
it's not
they
better.
would have
it's
some
not.
sense of of shame, but they really don't. That's
They
crazy.
don't.
They don't.
Because you know what?
They're only shamed by the like secrecy of it, or
because
somebody's like, "Ooh, you just went out in there with a dude."
but that's the thing, is like the bystander effect is real, right? And like we're all like
True. Yeah.
prone to, like, as soon as something bad is happening or something is happening, right? Like
Well,
we
it sounds
all
like being
ju-
prone's the issue.
right. But I mean, we're conditioned into it, right? It's like, you know, what causes the least amount of trouble? If someone's shouting or whatever, or something weird is happening, you know, better to keep your head down and keep walking. A lot of us do it. We all do it. So it's a societal problem more than anything else. But you know, that kicked in a lot because like everyone saw this was bullshit. I knew it was bullshit. The TSA guy knew it was bullshit. But you know, everyone's got to get to their flight. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Oh my god. 25th of October, Hurricane Otis makes landfall in Mexico near Acapulco, leaving at least 80 dead. It is the most powerful hurricane to make landfall in Mexico, with the highest winds reaching 165 miles an hour, surpassing Hurricane Patricia's landfall in 2015. Okay, jumping to November now. November 1st, the first AI safety summit takes place in the UK, with 28 countries signing a world first agreement on how to manage the riskiest forms of AI.
And then absolutely nothing happened.
The next day, to market the potential of AI, I'd say, the Beatles released Now and Then, the band's last ever song, featuring AI restored vocals by John Lennon, as well as guitar tracks by George Harrison.
See, I'm not mad at AI restoring vocals. I'm mad at AI creating
vocals. Yeah.
Well, from what I understand is like they just had to like get the background noise out of the recording, so they were able to use AI to do that.
Right, which is like what AI should be doing. Like that is
that's a good application.
That is
of
what
AI,
it
yeah.
is. Should be for, not to like make John Legend say, "Yoko Ono, you are a dirty bitch and you ruined the Beatles." Like
He should have said that himself.
she's so obsessed with him. Like I mean, I think I would be like that too, but like, oh my god, get over it, girl.
Oh god.
He wasn't even that cute. He wasn't cute at all, actually.
That's gonna get us canceled. Of all the things we've said on the show, that will get us canceled.
Don't make me say that one quote from him.
Oh my god. All right. So on the 6th of November, the death toll in Gaza is reported to have passed 10,000. Speaking with the Israeli Prime Minister, United States President Joseph Robinette Biden calls for a humanitarian pause in the fighting to increase the flow of aid to civilians.
Genocide Joe.
I hate that they're crediting him for that. Like, I get it, but like, I hate that.
Also, what did that pause do? Exactly.
Like this whole time he's saying, "Oh, a ceasefire can never happen. It'll never happen. It can never happen." And then like once one actually pops off because you know people actually want a ceasefire, then he's like, "Oh yeah, I did that. That was me."
Right.
You know, I mean,
very democratic of him.
Right.
So people are talking about like the efficacy of the bear hug strategy of if Biden ingratiates himself with Netanyahu early enough in the conflict, he can extract concessions later down the line. I'm not 100% sure how that's happening, but what we are seeing is an increasing recognition of the contradictory relationship the United States has with Israel, as well as just contradictions within our political system, right? But also just like the necessity of this conflict is somewhat being brought into question as well. And that it just remains to be seen to me, like, how will this play out, but also like how does this resolve meaningfully, right? I don't know how, with the current assumptions and the current actions people in power are taking, you know, that we see this resolve meaningfully anytime soon. And I know that's very trite to say, especially now.
Well, I mean, you know, kind of the the most like complete resolution would be, kind of, the worst outcome, right? Like, is, because I think that's at the current trajectory, that's the more likely form of resolution for this conflict. I think. I mean, it's possible that we get to a point where a public opinion. I mean, like, and I think Israel has already damaged its public opinion a lot, but I think,
Right.
it's, particularly like as they're trying to sort of like pressure for like war in Iran, I think that like that's, I think, kind of a no-go. Like, I don't think that that's like something that anyone really like wants outside of Israel, and I think that they'll like find some serious troubles with that if they really do try to make that push for the United States. So I don't know. I mean, I don't. It's an ugly situation, and we've been talking about it for since October, at least. And it's there's no clear end in sight.
It has continued to remain ugly. Exactly.
And,
Um,
frankly, like, maybe it's probably unrealistic to expect it to. I mean, we were, if we're gonna, I don't really like the 9/11 comparisons, but it's, if you look at our response to that, those wars lasted decades. So
yeah. There's a new stage of I don't know, because there was a whole discourse about like, do you call this thing settler colonialism? Do you call it imperialism? Do you call it whatever? What can be said though is that like long-term conflict and like unstable conditions seem to be our new norm. Very unfortunately.
yeah.
Well, on that note too, let's see, 14th to the 17th of November, President Biden hosts the APEC summit in San Francisco, attended by Chinese President Xi Jinping, marking the first time since 2017 that he set foot in the U.S. Both countries, at the conclusion of the summit, agreed to reopen suspended channels of military communications and to cooperate in their fight against climate change.
Mm.
Okay, so, I mean, so we're getting the shooters, and we're like, what? We're doing a drive-by on climate change? What are we doing?
Right.
That's the thing. It's like we keep having all these summits. It's like nothing's happening. It's like I have no faith in them.
I don't know, because like if you're at the summit and then the drawdown is, okay, we have to meaningfully drop carbon production in these sectors. You're asking for like the capitalist system as we understand it to suffer in some extent. I don't know who has the commitment and the drive to fulfill that, in this present order.
Yeah.
Who has the stones to say, yeah, I'm okay if you don't make money for a bit. Like, look at somebody in the eyes and be like, yeah, you don't need those millions, bro.
That will never happen.
Right.
That remains to be seen. On the 17th of November, the global average temperature temporarily exceeds 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial average for the first time in recorded history. 19th of November, Australia defeats India and wins the 2023 Cricket World Cup. Only I care about that.
Yep.
I ain't never seen you watch cricket.
Exactly.
Fake cricket liker.
Yeah, wait
We
a
only like cricket when it's convenient.
We're killing kayfabe here. Come on.
It's crazy they really put cricket on here, but chess has been having championships. What's
Chess has
going
been
on
going
with
crazy
Oh
this
my
year.
that? Chess has been going
God.
literally insane.
Wasn't there like
Yeah.
the big cheating scandal this year for
There's
chess?
been
Yeah, with the
multiple,
England
He
yes.
had the cheating scandal
Yeah.
on here. That was crazy. He had a vibrator up his booty.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I forgot that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh my god.
That was the craziest thing because I was literally like, how do you cheat in chess? And then I went down the rabbit hole and niggas be cheating in chess. Like,
They
that's
do.
crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, people make millions off of it. It's like, it makes sense.
I know. It really, like, when I realized that, it's like, oh, y'all really get money for this? Yeah, I'll put a vibrator on my booty hole. Y'all let me know the answer.
Oh
Some
my
people do it
God.
for free, you know. It's,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right,
saying, you know?
doing it for millions.
Could you
I'm talking
imagine
about
accidentally nutting
money.
at a chess competition because the vibrator hit the wrong spot? Could you imagine?
Oh my God.
Maybe that'll give you an edge up on everybody else.
Speaking of edging,
Oh, actually, speaking of which, did you guys see that this was a post that Microsoft Edge put out? They deleted it quickly, but they said it's almost the end of the year, and we want to see how you #Edge show us
Oh
your
my
most
God.
memorable edges.
No, they knew what they were doing, right? Like they knew what they were doing. There's no
They
way.
Yeah, I
had
mean
to
they
know.
deleted
it's
it,
been
but
deleted.
But like, what do you mean? Like, what were they actually trying to say with that?
I mean, well, the thing is I saw like Adobe do that, and it was like, show us what you've been doing in your Adobe, like all this stuff,
well,
like
it's like it's using
Photoshop.
they're using like Edge as like their search term,
It's like, why would
but
It doesn't work. Come on,
No.
man.
Also, Microsoft Edge is the worst. I'd rather have Internet Explorer. At least that's a bitch you know. I
True.
don't like these new bitches.
wait, is it Edge just Internet Explorer?
It's like a
rebranded?
reskin.
Yes.
It's like a reskin,
Yeah, I was like-
slower Internet Explorer.
I
Though.
would rather it just be Internet Explorer. Because at least she had memes.
Oh my God.
She
That's
would have
true.
been like, yeah, I really like the Montgomery Brawl today. I love that that's just happening right now.
Right now.
All right. This gives me this makes me feel the same way as Internet Explorer does. The 2023 Argentine presidential election.
Oh,
yeah.
Javier
Jesus.
Milei, or the most libertarian to ever libertarian, wins in the second round of the 2023 Argentine presidential election, assuming on 10th December. Now, anyone who doesn't know, like, he is a right-wing libertarian with minarchist and anarcho-capitalist principles. He hired a psychic to speak to his dead dog. who he-
That's
Yeah,
how he
okay,
gets
you-
economic advice.
You
I'm not
say
even
that,
joking.
but you would do that.
let's see. At
He's not
school-
running a real country, though. Come on now.
At school, he was nicknamed El Loco for his outbursts and aggressive rhetoric.
Oh, God.
Just a normal guy, you know.
just-
Just a
You didn't
just-
even talk about the worst part.
I mean, okay, literally, like, his first lady is his sister. I think.
What the
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham, to be fair, said that would be his first lady too if he was elected president.
Okay, but the thing is,
But
like,
he
Lindsey
does
Graham.
got a bitch, though. Supposed bitch.
Who? Lindsey Graham?
No, oh, dude.
Javier
Argentina,
Milei.
yeah.
Yeah, Javier. He does have a girlfriend, a domestic partner.
They were saying this on Chapo, where like all libertarian dudes have horrible hair as like a signal to each other.
Yeah, that's the worst part of
But
him. Is
I
that he
just- I
has
just want y'all
mutton
to-
chops.
I want
Who
y'all
has
to look
mutton
at,
chops in 2023?
but look
Yeah.
at the fit. Look at the fit. This is ridiculous. You got that stupid ass libertarian flame button, and you got a pinstripe suit in 2019, in the 29th year of our Lord. Who is wearing a pinstripe suit? Unironically,
Anarcho-capitalists, apparently.
Mutton chop dudes.
And then I mean, he is literally the type of guy who like probably jacks off to like Milton Friedman every night. He is that guy.
Aaron Rand.
Let's see. His rise to prominence during the 2023 presidential campaign, fueled by his primary win, sparked widespread attention, as did his central bank abolition and dollarization proposals. He is known for his flamboyant personality, distinctive personal style, and strong media presence, which at times causes controversy, and his embrace of conspiracy theories, including the cultural Marxism conspiracy theory. He has also called climate change a socialist lie, and said that concerns about it are nothing more than deceptions promoted by the neo-Marxists, as are those related to the attempts to overturn the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Echoing Donald Trump, he also claimed electoral fraud ahead of the 2023 presidential runoff. Like other right-wing populists, his rhetoric focuses on opposing what he calls the political caste. Milei's party was criticized for including among his candidates neo-Nazis and apologists for the last military dictatorship.
Jesus Christ.
During his career, he has also been involved in several investigations and has been accused of having a violent attitude towards journalists and critics, as well as of misogynistic behavior, including towards women in journalism. He is a cosplayer and is a superhero persona called General ANCAP. He also champions free love.
Your most sane ANCAP right there.
Oh my god.
The free love is him fucking his sister.
100%.
I mean,
That's
if
why.
you look
That's
at
why
his-
he's an ANCAP. That's why he's an
If you
ANCAP. He
look
wants to
at his-
remove government restrictions on.
I mean,
on incest.
I mean, that seems to be like. I mean, I guess kind of like backtracking a bit to our discussion before, but I mean, that does seem to be like half of the like libertarian motive, right? It's just like I want to be able to, either commit incest or like pedophilia. It's like one or the
Or
other.
both.
Sometimes both. Yeah.
Oh my god. While raised Catholic, Milei has been critical of the Catholic Church under Pope Francis, and his disparaging comments about Francis attracted criticism from Catholics. He also reads the Torah daily and has visited the grave of Orthodox Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. Before November 2023, he said he contemplated converting to Judaism, but that observing the Sabbath could pose challenges if he became president. Upon being elected president, it was reported that he intended to convert to Judaism. Okay.
What?
How is this guy real, dude? That's crazy.
He owns 5 English Mastiffs. Just so you know, these are some big fellas.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're talking about this, and I think he cloned
The
one
Queen
of them. So
Header corgis. He's got his
he
mastiffs,
cloned one.
yeah,
He cloned one.
yeah, with the progenitor being named Conan, who died in 2017 after suffering from spinal cancer. He considers
Why
Conan
would you
his.
clone a nigga with spinal cancer?
He
Well, I mean, do we believe in genetic destiny or not?
Like,
You know?
why would you do that out of everybody you could clone? Why would it be a
He-
dude with cancer?
He considers Conan his own son and has named 4 of Conan's 6 clones, including one named after the other and another named Angelito. Milton in honor of Milton Friedman, Murray in honor of Murray Rothbard, Robert and Lucas both named after Robert Lucas Jr. So we're talking like demonic American
Right, the
economists.
worst.
This
worst.
dude is literally insane. Like,
Millet
I
said
think-
he said that he cloned Conan because he understands cloning as a way of approaching eternity. To do this, he went to a clinic in the United States. The process cost him about $50,000. He has called his dogs his four-legged children and thanked them after his electoral win. There you have
Okay.
it, folks. Libertarians and dog people.
Mental illness.
I can excuse the sister fucking.
What?
I can excuse
That's
being
all fine.
libertarian, but I cannot excuse how crazy it is to clone your unhealthy dog multiple times and to call them your children. And
That's like the most
would you
normal thing
clone
about
your
it.
child? Would
I
you
feel like
clone a
that's-
child?
That's the most normal
Like, what
thing
if
he
your kid
did.
died and you're just gonna clone your kid?
I mean, isn't
You,
that like the plot
think
of
about that.
like a million science fiction movies? Like kid
But it's
dies, we
different
clone
for
the
it
kid.
being real. Like,
I mean-
a Black Mirror episode being real is different than
That's true.
just a Black Mirror episode.
I mean, you haven't had a child or clone one yet. Don't knock it till you try it.
Don't knock it till you try it. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it's my fault. I don't have a child to clone, so I can't talk about the clone. The
You can
child
clone
cloning.
you can clone yourself and raise it as your child.
So to give you more hate fuel for this guy, oh my god. Millet proposes reducing government ministries and addressing economic challenges through spending cuts and fiscal reforms, criticizing previous administrations for excessive spending. He has praised the economic policies of former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and called her a great leader.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no.
not that bitch.
That's kind of wild.
Margaret
It's like someone in
Thatcher's a milk
Argentina like
snatcher?
saying that. Like
That's what I'm saying. Is like really after the Falklands. Oh, okay. Here's what. Speaking of the Falklands, okay. A social conservative, he opposes abortion and euthanasia, is indifferent to same-sex marriage, and supports privatization in education and healthcare, opposes mandatory vaccination, supports drug legalization and the legalization of prostitution. As a supporter of the right to keep and bear arms, advocates deregulation of firearm ownership and immigration restrictions for criminals. In foreign policy, criticizes the IMF, opposes trade unions, boo, aligns with anti-socialist figures like Donald Trump and Jair Bolsonaro, and
boo.
And prioritizes alliances with the United States and Israel. Cautious about relations with China, supports Ukraine against Russia, and advocates dialogue about the Falklands War.
What does that mean?
What is that? What do you mean by that?
What dialogue, bro?
What dialogue?
I mean, like, the issue's over, right? Like,
I'm really to facilitate that dialogue.
What was the issue? I don't get it.
I'm finna facilitate it.
I just want to be there. I don't even want to facilitate.
I just think we should. I just think we should talk about it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if the dialogue is
I'm
what
just
happened.
I'm just a dude asking questions.
Oh God. Okay, so that freak is president of Argentina.
Yeah.
The 22nd of November, Israel and Hamas agreed to a 4-day ceasefire, the first pause in fighting since the 7th of October, during which many Israeli hostages will be released in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Did y'all see the videos of like when they were getting released? They're dapping up the Hamas guys.
They literally were like, "Keep in touch. See you soon." Hugs and kisses and all this other shit.
It is insane shit going on.
It's the equivalent. It really is the equivalent of like getting dropped off for summer camp and being like, "I don't want to be here," and then like loving everyone and being pen pals with them.
But basically, like, there was a video, like, and again, like the whole problem with like this conflict right now is that the news is one thing, and cable news has really diminished in quality these past couple of years. Online, like newspaper publications are hit or miss, and then you have to go off of like cell phone footage and like news sources from other countries on like social media. Like the actual apparatus of obtaining news has gotten like more like amorphous, as the years have gone on lately. It's hard for anyone to get like a complete picture from one source, and I doubt we will have the full story until way too late. But it is going to show that like Israel's former like foothold in like public opinion and reputation is not the same as it used to be. It really isn't.
Yeah, they really lost the culture war.
Well, I don't think they've.
It's over. The culture war's over.
Culture war's over.
They lost it.
It's
like when you can get on social media and see the murdering of like hundreds of thousands of people, or not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of people. Like, it's really hard to be like, yeah, Israel is doing what is right and great. And then when you see your president do secret arms deals with that country, and like there's companies that are creating the bad things here in America and shipping them over, it's really hard to see these are the good guys doing the good work. Like it's hard to even pretend like that is a reality, or that could be a reality for realistic people.
Well, I think it's less of that and more of like the contours of who's on what camp have already been determined, and more than that, like the Hasbara and like the pro IDF side has won over everyone it's already going to win over. I think the camps are like discreet now, but what we are experiencing now is like, because there's no way to like push the levers, we are getting more culture war style argument, as well as just like real bitter shit directed towards anybody calling for any humanitarian relief or just anything like short of rest is being like resisted, you know. So again, like we said earlier, it's been ugly, it continues to be ugly, but it's also like it's like looking at things trapped in glass almost. I don't know if that helps or puts anything into perspective. Moving from there, the Dutch general election, far right Geert Wilders Party for Freedom. So this guy is also like the Dutch Javier Milei. Wins the most seats again for the fucked up hair.
It's always the fucked up hair. You're
It's
right.
the fucked up hair. I'm telling you, he's been described as the Dutch Trump, so that can tell you exactly.
You gotta have fuck ass hair, man. If you
Oh
gonna
my
do
God.
that evil shit.
Then the 30th of November, Brazil announces it will join OPEC at a meeting of the organization to discuss oil output strategy in 2024. Brazil is the largest oil producer in South America, producing 4.6 million barrels per day of oil and gas.
That's insane.
All right, now bringing us back to December, so we will finally be caught up to the present soon. The 3rd of December, the Guyana Essequibo crisis. Venezuela votes in a symbolic referendum on whether voters agreed with creating a subdivision in the disputed territory of Guyana Essequibo, currently under the control of neighboring Guyana. Analysts say the referendum's practical implications are likely to be minimal, although to be honest, wherever there's oil, there's problems.
True.
Mm-hmm.
That is all I will weigh in on.
No, fair enough.
I just love the reports of like the U.S. military getting involved, literally just to defend Exxon's contract in the area.
Yep.
They not beating the oil allegations.
They're not being the oil allegations at all.
Let's see. 6th of December, Google DeepMind releases the Gemini language model. Gemini will act as a foundational model integrated into Google's existing tools, including Search and Bard.
Yeah, this was literally just a result of the earlier in the year. I think we actually kind of briefly talked about it. The AI like space race sort of.
Yeah.
This is essentially the result of that.
Yeah. Then the 12th of December, COP28, or basically the oil salesmen's convention this year, in Dubai, a consensus is reached for countries to transition away from fossil fuels. The first such agreement in the conference's 30-year history. We're finally at a consensus to transition away. What does, in practical, just practically, what does that mean? They can't even tell you.
Yeah. Also, I still don't think it's gonna happen. Right? Like a lot of the people at COP28 are literally like heavily invested within fossil fuel industry. So it's like,
I'm telling you what's going to happen. The Earth Federation is going to start sending people to space colonies.
There we go.
I just want my big suit. Okay, give me one of them and we're good. All right.
I just don't know what we thought that the group of useless niggas was gonna do about
you mean the
anything.
United Nations?
Yeah, the United Nations. Like, I don't know. They just get together, literally, like we said, and they do a circle jerk and talk about how their country's doing good and how their country can be doing better by doing this. And then they all shake with their cummy hands, and then they just go sit back down and do nothing.
Yes, this is getting edited, right? But that is one thing that I
100% agree with Sky though. I'm not. Keep that in there. Keep that in there.
What does get me though is like the amount of like unserious people who think the UN has any binding power.
Oh no, it doesn't even have military. Like no, it can't do anything.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of
It
people,
does nothing.
a lot of people are like, come on, the UN's got to be in charge of this. I'm like, what? What do you mean? It's not the Earth Federation yet. It's just the UN. Like,
Yeah.
in the future, you will have two sides: the Earth Federation, fascist, or Xeon, fascist. Your choice.
Yeah. What an optimistic prediction.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like Tomino at the end of Zeta. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. 18th of December, a number of shipping companies, including oil giant BP, announced a temporary suspension of their operations in the Red Sea due to continued attacks on vessels by Houthi rebels. And at least 131 people are killed and 16 reported missing in an earthquake in northwest China. 21st of December. The European Court of Justice rules that threats by FIFA and UEFA to sanction football clubs that wish to join the European Soccer League are unlawful. There you have it, folks. Justice is served.
Wow.
And just another horrible thing America has exported: mass shootings. The deadliest mass shooting in the Czech Republic's history occurs at a university, with 15 killed and 25 others wounded. Wow.
Damn, the deadliest being 15 killed. America could never.
America could literally never.
I mean, oh my gosh. And then, so 22nd of December, the death toll in Gaza is reported to have passed 20,000. Fuck me. Almost 1% of its population, and surpassing the casualties in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. And then the last event of the list, Russia launches the largest wave of drones and missiles on Ukrainian cities since the start of the war in a widespread overnight assault on cities across the country, killing at least 39 and injuring at least 160 others.
The way America did not care about that. Literally, this is the first time I'm hearing about that. America said we do not care about Ukraine no more.
No, there's been response to. I mean, that was literally yesterday. So.
Oh wow, that was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Imagine knowing the date.
That's the vibe we're at the end of the year. We literally forgot it was yesterday. Let's see. We got this year's deaths. I'm trying to go through this. If there's anyone.
Kissinger
died. And
that was like there was the positive.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Ding dong, the witch is dead, man.
Yeah,
it still feels like too little, too late.
It really is. That nigga should have died like 80 years ago.
I cannot.
We can't live stream the journey to hell, unfortunately. But if we could,
he was like 100, right? Wasn't he like super old? Like way too.
Yeah,
old?
he was 99. I think
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like the evil should not live that long. But hopefully,
wait, did the Queen die this year or last year?
That was last year.
Last year, okay.
I'm just hoping for Kissinger that like he was seeing ghosts of the millions.
No, he was actually straight up 100 when he died.
Like
he was 100.
Yeah.
Like I'm hoping that he was plagued for the last 30 years of seeing like the ghosts of Christmas past every single fucking day of his life.
I hope too, but again, it's just like the injustice is that he lived as long as he did, you know?
Yeah.
And the injustice is like, this is it. We had to sit back, watch, and then, you know, we get to post all of like our articles and books that we wrote in anticipation of when he passes.
Yeah,
like everybody hitting the Kissinger's dead button. That was big in left media.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rosalind Carter passed away.
Yes.
Obviously Dianne Feinstein. Matthew Perry died.
Yeah,
that was a major
sad.
one. In the wrestling world, Terry Funk died.
R.I.P.
Yeah, let's see what else. There's a few other people. Len Goodman from Dancing with the Stars.
I will say that's the whitest thing you've said. How do you know people who are dancing with the stars?
I have no idea.
That was one of the hosts. So
exactly. Still,
well, with a show that's been around for over a decade, I think it's not an obscene thing to like be aware of.
This show is so diverse until it comes down to that. Oh my gosh. I feel like we did our best to go through it all, but like, what is there anything we missed at all?
Not to my knowledge, I don't think.
Let's see. Did we miss Norfolk Southern? No, we
No, we got
mentioned
that. Yeah, that
We
was right
mentioned
near the
that.
beginning.
Did we talk about War on Christmas this year?
No, Sandra Day O'Connor also died.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I think that was just a few days ago.
But
But yeah, there was
George
War on Christmas. That was. I feel like that rhetoric had kind of died for a while. This was like its real big comeback.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Real Fox News sickos getting to it, but what can I tell you? What can I tell you? The Christmas spirit was lacking this year.
They literally interviewed Santa Claus on Fox News. How can you say that the spirit was dead?
Oh God.
That's incredible. There's no way people actually take Fox News seriously now, right? Like that's crazy.
No,
Nope,
they do.
there
They
is.
do. I think it's like the market for cable news is a specific demographic. You know, it is that exact class of Fox News viewers at it.
That is unbelievable.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, you had you had them praise a Ukrainian Nazi in Canadian Parliament this year. Although we talked about
that was a
True.
pretty wild little episode.
I'm just going through our news channel in the Discord. I'm just like, what have we talked about this year? Michigan Republican Party might be bankrupt. We'll find out.
Party of fiscal responsibility, boys.
Government shutdown posed risks to Fat Bear Week. Oh yeah. John Fetterman got exposed as a fraud this year. That's
You
ridiculous.
fucking
Yeah, more or
bitch-ass
less.
nigga.
Like, not to get like
No,
ableist, but it's
for
like
those.
did like the stroke have some like unforeseen consequences or what?
Bro, let's do a look see. Maybe you should go to the doctor because how could you go from I'm a progressive, tweet, I'm a progressive to I've never said I was progressive. What, dude? Are you literally rewriting history? There's got to be something wrong with you.
It felt like a real life version of like the when everyone was doing like the Captain America Hail Hydra meme. Like it felt like that.
What? Okay, we also missed that. New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez was taking bribes from the Egyptian government and is still in the Senate.
Right, yeah.
Santos got kicked out for less somehow. And I'm not even on Santos' side. Like that's
Santos rise and fall.
American politics is a clown show, man.
What else? You have you had India murking somebody in Canada for being part of a separatist movement. And
the Sikh separatist movement. Yeah,
I think they did it in the United States too, or at least tried to.
They tried to and failed. I think what happened was that the Indian government official ended up accidentally paying like an FBI undercover officer to go kill someone. Like it's literally that stupid. I'm not even joking.
FBI is not being the entrapment allegations.
That's their bread and butter. They're like, I'll just entrap them. That's gonna be good. Maybe I'll do the thing that I said I wasn't gonna do, but
Let's see. In addition to that, you have Trump is not on the ballot in Colorado. Trump's mugshot in Georgia. You had
almost all his legal indictments were this year.
You had the Young Thug RICO trial.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
which
true.
Which is amazing.
What else?
They got a judge hearing in right now, and they're just doing insane stuff.
You had all of Trump's legal problems. Honestly, I'm gonna try not to bring all U.S. politics into this, but let's see what else. What else is major?
Trump and Co. You mean because he wasn't the only one?
What else? Twitter is fucking dead now. Twitter's fucking dead.
Yeah, I mean it's not like literally yet, but it's getting there. I mean, I think the acquisition was like the end of last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like right before the election, and that was like why it was like a big controversy because some of the policy changes that he wanted to do, and was already doing. But yeah,
I don't understand. Like, does Twitter not have a board of directors? Like, are there not people whose interest is making money and not destroying the app? Like, I don't understand.
I mean, it's publicly traded, so you'd think there would be like, you know, some fiduciary responsibilities, you know, much as I usually hate that word, that like is clearly being violated.
Right. Because like I just remember you can't really do this. Like you can't just take an app and destroy it without like a whole bunch of people being mad because you're like ruining their money aspects. And I'm just like I don't know if the advertisers that he's getting, he's just charging like the big guys' prices
That's kind of
because
the
so
confusing
many
part.
people dropped
like-
out.
Yeah, exactly. There's been like a huge wave of advertisers leaving the platform, especially after Elon Musk said his whole like white supremacist like replacement theory bullshit.
Oh yeah, where like
right?
the one where he's basically like, oh, like we shouldn't defend Jews because they're not going to defend white people being replaced. Like,
yeah,
just, like verbatim.
It's this whole social media debacle like kind of ties back to this show's origins, right? Because like I started this like after January 6th, the original one. Because
That's
like
awesome.
because like
Man, the
I
history's first, January 6th, man.
So like I started the show because like I wanted to unpack like, you know, political discourse and like how it plays out on social media and like all that shit, right? And like in that process, like I got deeper on the social media space. Maybe I did something meaningful, maybe I didn't, but like there was always that question of like you got to get back into the real world, and it's kind of happening by circumstance now, where it's like the online space where we've been breaking our brains with all this discourse is functionally dead, you know? Like Twitter was the biggest like forum for it, and with it like declining in the way it has, we don't see it going back to its original way even as accounts are getting restored. You see like, you know, knockoffs like Blue Sky, Mastodon, and Threads, but they can't maintain the old culture or get the old user statuses back up. You know, we're seeing a backslide of social media away from being any kind of like discursive or even connective space, and kind of a backsliding into this thing for advertising and merch. So the question remains for me, right? Like, as podcasts were tied, at least in like the left wing space, right? They were tied to social media. And as some of this stuff like happened on the internet, now that we're being forced back into the real world to some extent, like I feel like that's what I wanted from the jump. But what happens next? You know, what is the future of the terminally online left? What is the future of life for the internet addicted? What comes next for podcasters as we have to migrate away from this place we used to call our digital home? And you know, what changes meaningfully as a result? I don't know.
I guess we'll find out, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because for sure, like like, you know, greenhouse gaslighting is not going anywhere, but what we might talk about in the coming year, the shape it's going to take, the format, even like the delivery is going to change drastically, it seems. Not to do a staff meeting on air, you know, it's just like I am just curious, like, you know, what comes next for all of us. And I think that's why it's always useful to maybe sit back and reflect on the year's events and the year's accomplishments. I think this has been a good year for the podcast. It's been great working with all of you this year, and it's always great to have content out for the listeners. One thing we can try to do, I think, is maybe jump and make our predictions for the coming year. What do you say?
Fair. Predictions in terms of the podcast, or in terms of what specifically?
What's on your bingo card for next year? What's on your bingo card?
I I think on my bingo card is, I don't know. Come back to me. I got to think about it.
Okay.
Oh man, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like we've kind of said, I made my election predictions earlier. In terms of like other things, I don't know. I mean, I guess personally, I mean, I'll hopefully have my degree by the end of the year. So there's that.
Congrats.
That's maybe a little bit more personally focused. But other than that, I'm not really sure if I've got any like big things right. I mean, I think that we've got some good concepts ready for future episodes for the new year, and I think those will be good for the show. I expect, I mean, like, I guess just in like the broad strokes of it, right? I mean, I expect we'll see more, sort of media monopolization, right? We'll see more mergers and, buyouts of companies and stuff like that. Things aren't going to necessarily improve on that particular front, but maybe we'll see, a few more big strikes that have some positive impacts, like the UAW and, even like the SAG-AFTRA and writers' strikes. Those might be, we'll see if there's more stuff like that in the future.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic in that front. Not too optimistic on like other than like electorally. It's like, I mean, I think this year, and like we haven't done our Congress year in review episode yet, but like this Congress was just so
nothing
bad.
got done.
Pointless,
so bad at doing
useless, dumb.
Yeah, and like there's no reason to suspect that'll change. Like literally, and like this is not actual, unless a few people die, because that might actually shift, who controls chambers and stuff like that, or who else resigns. I don't see a whole lot changing on that front for next year.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. We've talked a lot about the rot at the heart of the system. We've talked a lot about how things need to be changed. And we've also talked, ad nauseum about how we've kind of been rendered powerless to do anything about any of that, right? So we are in that condition of, waiting and seeing for what can happen. And I think, that eagerness sometimes gets translated into participating in what you can, whether that's joining an organization, whether that's supporting people on strike or going to a rally. But things have been in a real wait or see condition this year. Maybe there will be some delivery in the coming year. Maybe there won't. I'm not sure.
I do think that this is going to be the year, or 2024 is going to be the year that Mitch McConnell finally fucking dies.
Ooh, I'm
feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
I'm
the shitty thing about his if he dies though is that he changed the rules where instead of the governor can pick his replacement, it's like a group of conservatives will pick his replacement. But I think just him not being alive anymore will make the world a better place.
Well, it's one of two systems to replace. It's either voters, which maybe that's a group of conservatives in Kentucky.
Yeah.
But,
Andy this year got through.
Yeah, that's true. I don't off the top of my head, I don't recall Kentucky specific laws if it's governor appointee or if it's
no, it's not governor. It was governor appointee, but he changed. He had the rules changed.
How did he change?
It's now.
It's a state.
It's like here. Let me.
Jamie, pull that shit up.
I mean, is the dude like really just like plotting out like what might happen for like like hey,
yeah,
I'm likely to die here, so like
yeah, that's what I looked at and how I saw it is that is exactly how he did it. Is he's setting himself up so if he does die during his
okay, they changed the law that how the state would fill it, shifting appointment power from the governor to the party of the senators leaving office.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's anti-democratic. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yep.
It's like in some ways it's like if this was more universal, it's like arguably maybe slightly more so, but then like it's like the governor was likely elected after the senator in that case. So like, but even I guess there could be a situation where it's the opposite, right? I don't know. I mean, neither system of like appointee is particularly democratic, other than just election.
But as soon as the governor became
yeah, that was 2021.
Democrat, he knew that he had to make something shake.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy because, like, literally, like, the only reason you would suggest that or urge for that is, like, that you're
You're banking on dying. Yeah.
Like, you know you're going to die.
I'm probably going to die.
Sometime soon.
And
or maybe
my thing is, like, at what point
resign, but
at what point do you have that realization and just step down? Like, if you're going to die, if you honestly think you're going to die in office, just don't run. Like,
well, I mean,
he
could still step down, and it would be the same thing, right? Maybe he's just sort of banking like one or the other. I'm not making it through this term.
Yeah, I mean, he's had how many strokes that aren't strokes?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even then, like, even if it wasn't so much that, like, there's sort of like a benefit, like, hey, like maybe like right before the next election, I resign and give like that person a little bit of a boost in the polls.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it sort of has that.
I guess here's a question: when do we make the gerontocracy a cornerstone issue? Because everyone picks up on it. Everyone can see it, like, in front of their faces, but no one, aside from maybe an editorial here and there, or maybe like a Twitter post, is about like, hey, like, we are literally bearing the costs of a gerontocracy right now. We are literally seeing what it does to a generation. Like, it is not paying out for anybody right now. When are we going to do something about it? But there's also no organized demands or any clear.
There's not a clean solution either.
Exactly.
I mean, have a lot of kind of other issues associated with them. I mean, there's age limits. That's kind of, but even then, right? It's like, it's sort of weird too, where it's like, I mean, just look at this Congress, right? Like, I kind of like get like a conspiracy, like, oh, was this like deliberate? But like, is McConnell the issue, or is it like the House Republicans that are the issue? And it's like, both are, but like, is that more of just like a political conservative problem rather than like McConnell's ancient and should be,
exactly. It's less to do with like an intention to make a gerontocracy and more of how the practices and norms of the institution have kind of led to this behavior being normalized, right? And you're seeing it play out in both parties, right? But even like in the ways that the parties operate and lead each other, they tend towards these behaviors that I think we may not see in a parliamentary system, or at least they may be less pronounced because, and we've talked about this to some extent, maybe, I don't know how this holds up or not, but you're more beholden to party loyalty in a parliamentary system. Like, your party does appoint you to your seat and you do have to give them something in return with your vote. But in the United States, you're kind of a free agent. You just have to have a nominal loyalty to the party. And even then, examples like Joe Manchin show us every day, it doesn't really matter for shit. And you're kind of, are like contracting out your seat, right? So it kind of leads to this, whoever can hold it longest, and with our campaign finance structure, maybe that plays a role. Who knows? But it's more of an institutional problem that requires some thought and requires like some real systemic reform that I don't think is organized particularly or has any named solutions, let alone a clear solution.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if an age limit solves that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
I think a term limit could help.
Yeah, term limits kind of are the answer, I think, right?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I've seen enough like evidence at like the state level where they don't really they have a lot of bad consequences. Like, they were largely imposed in Michigan and other places because it would What they've kind of done is they've increased polarization, particularly on the right, because the main objective was it was in response to Bush raising taxes, Bush Senior raising taxes. So it was done to make it so that elected officials would never develop the sense that like maybe we should increase taxes or impose some other type of slightly not conservative policy. And so like that's kind of one of the major consequences, and you can see like where a lot of them are just very subject to lobbying influence and things like that, more so than they even are now without term limits. So I'm not convinced that they're a particularly good solution for the problem.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna solve that one tonight. I'm trying to think what other predictions we got. I think
Diddy is gonna go to jail finally.
that seems like an easy layup, but I think that's for sure gonna happen.
Yeah.
Do you think TD Jakes is getting exposed big time or small time?
I think he's going to be exposed by there's going to be a group of the people he abused that are going to come out, but he's not going to face any repercussions when it comes to the church.
What about the Epstein papers coming out? What do we think?
It doesn't mean anything.
Okay,
It's just a distraction.
it's
not to be that person, but it's just like, hey, everyone, pay attention to Epstein. Don't pay attention to the Israel doing war crimes constantly. Just don't pay attention to the fact that your president is doing secret deals while he says that he doesn't have control to do anything else. Don't pay attention to that.
I mean, I think that to the extent that the people that need to see those news things, I don't necessarily think that they need a distraction to ignore them, though.
That's true, but I think it's not they need the distraction.
But do you think it's like the we forgot to talk about this, the UFO bullshit this year.
Ooh, yeah.
Another yeah.
Oh man, that was a waste.
That was a way
hilarious.
to keep people that kept people busy. That kept
people
busy.
But the craziest thing about that is the guy was actually he had security clearance. It's a possibility that the alien stuff could be true, but the fact that you had an open forum for this dude to be like, talk to me in a completely secret place and I'll tell you what I really know. It was why do this then? If everything he can tell you needs to be in a locked room, why are we doing this public rigmarole and acting like it's so amazing? And then the Mexico thing was the fake. The Mexico.
Oh yeah, the Mexico thing was awesome.
They really got them. It was it's an alien. You look at it, it's this is fake. And it's no, it's an alien. It's proof.
Until an alien sits down in the chair and is answering questions, I refuse to believe it.
Yeah, Sam. That's kind of where I'm at.
It was really amazing because so much was happening, and there's everybody was just oh yeah, there's an alien. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that information? What that got to do with student loans starting back up?
Right.
Roe v. Wade, my bills, inflation. What the fuck that got to do with anything?
Okay, here's my prediction. I think we will get the JFK assassination revealed next year.
That's all RFK has been working on, and y'all hating on him.
I never got the impression he was working on that.
He is actively avoiding that.
It's just a joke me and not even say it. It's that is why he's running. He's just trying to get down to figure it out why all his family died in mysterious ways.
If he would have probably polled at least decently enough, actually be forced Joe Biden into some debates.
Right.
I'll tell you one thing. It was pretty funny that Woody Harrelson is a RFK Jr. supporter.
Oh yeah.
Also,
'Cause
that his dad does did bank robberies.
That's what I heard. Is like he allegedly did bank robberies, and then he allegedly there's like a conspiracy theory that he may have been involved in the JFK shooting, and the only thing people have to go off of is like him reacting poorly in an interview when asked about that. Where it's like, hey, was your dad part of the JFK assassination? I don't want to answer that. See, he's part of it. Like,
I mean, that's a weird answer though, if we're gonna be honest.
It is a weird answer. Like, why don't you just double down and be like, come on, man, of course not. But anyways, for him to then be at the RFK Jr. like rally with like a hat, that was funny. That was pretty funny. I'm not gonna hold you. Yeah, so my personal prediction is they will reveal files about the JFK assassination and nothing will come of it.
No, it will be files, but it will be extremely redacted.
It's either they're redacted and so nothing comes of it, or some bombshell like revelation happens and no one cares. I feel like both are equally possible.
Mm-hmm.
Other predictions. Let's see. I still think we should not rule out the possibility of some insane shit going down at the Democratic convention this year. In 2024. I think there may be a convention takeover. We shouldn't rule it out.
They still do conventions.
They still do, and I think the craziest option anyone can bet on is Gavin Newsom versus Andrew Cuomo.
Why would they do that?
I think Cuomo has been waiting long enough. I think he was going to do it in 2016, and someone probably uncovered his like sexual misconduct shit, so that he was like, "Cool, I'll sit this one out."
I mean,
then...
I know like sometimes like the timing on some of that stuff is always like weird, but like, God, that was miraculously timed.
Miraculous timing. But then I don't know, because like I feel like Andrew Cuomo will literally say the words, "Hey, Biden killed me too," and everyone will go along with it.
I mean,
he would never say that though.
Right. That's not how you get donors.
Let's see what else is possible. I still think I'm still putting money down on there will be a case involving a demand to overthrow Loving v. Virginia presented to the Supreme Court next summer. I think it might happen.
I think we kind of have a good impression of what their docket is already, though.
What's on the docket this year? Let's see.
I don't remember everything, but like I know like there's obviously like those Trump cases are 100%. Some of them are going to make it. They've tried to defer judgment, but they can't avoid it for forever. And I'm trying to think what else there is.
Let's see, pulling it up, 2023.
There's some stuff for like the administrative state and whatnot. I mean, there might be some pullbacks on, in particularly, I'm thinking, Chevron, the Chevron doctrine. There's some stuff threatening that again. So like there's some big stuff that's potentially could have some really bad outcomes, but I'm not convinced Loving is quite making it there.
It's probably not.
You really think Loving's gonna like jump the gun over gay marriage?
I think I don't know. I don't know when
they gotta go for gay marriage first.
Yeah,
I think if anything they'll try to put it all together.
Maybe. But I mean, there's no way that I think they just go like Loving and then like, we'll revisit what's the gay marriage case?
Obergefell v. Hodges.
Obergefell.
I'm looking at this and I'm seeing some real fucked up shit. Let's see.
Oh yeah, there it is.
We got Snyder v. United States. Okay,
R. Snyder?
No, someone else.
Okay, like
let's see.
So they gave up on him. They
did.
Yeah.
That was the thing we forgot to mention. Is like, yeah, they should have got him. I saw the Coinbase was on one of these things.
Coinbase?
Yeah, let's see. A case in which the court will decide whether, when parties enter into an arbitration agreement with a delegation clause, an arbitrator or a court decides whether that arbitration agreement is narrowed by a later contract that is silent as arbitration and delegation. Okay, I see consumer rights probably going down the drain next year.
Love that.
I think that's the next thing. Browns
Yeah, I mean,
in the United States.
Like just like the number of like fiscal garbage that they're willing to like, you know.
Yeah, that seems to be like the bulk of everything I'm looking at right now. Ooh, a case in which the court will decide whether South Carolina's congressional redistricting plan constitutes an unconstitutional racial gerrymander.
Yeah, I'm not expecting any like meaningful progress on that. The courts have historically been really bad on gerrymandering.
Yeah, let's see. A case in which the court was asked to decide whether a civil rights tester has Article 3 standing to challenge under the Americans with Disability Act a hotel's failure to provide disability accessibility info on its website. Okay, so disability rights are going in the shitter. It's not looking good, folks.
It's not looking good.
It's
What was that Food and Drug? What was one above that?
FDA. Let's see, Food and Drug Administration versus. This looks like some anti-vax bullshit. I ain't gonna hold you. Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine et al. Let's just see. Oh, I think this is regarding the use of mifepristone, which is like the
for the abortion.
Yeah. This was they had a stay on the lower court order for it, but yeah, they're finally going to hear that case.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, so this could be pretty disastrous. Potentially,
this could be bad. Oh no.
And like the thing is, it's like this court compared to like prior conservative courts, because the court's been pretty conservative for a long time. It just really doesn't have a whole lot of restraint behind it.
No, it is, yeah. Let's see. Murthy versus Missouri, a case in which the court will decide whether the government's request to large social media companies that they take steps to prevent the dissemination of purported misinformation constituted coercion, and thus transform those private companies' content moderation decisions into state action and violated users' First Amendment rights. Oh yeah, social media is dead, folks.
Yeah, well, we'll revisit these when they come up.
Yeah. So
let's not get too doom and gloom into the new year.
Let's not, but just I guess to prepare for next year. Yeah, Relentless Inc. versus Department of Commerce, a case in which the court will decide whether to overrule Chevron versus Natural Resources, or at least clarify the statutory silence concerning controversial powers expressly but narrowly granted elsewhere in the statute does not constitute an ambiguity. Oh my God. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just be clear. Okay. Well, that's our Supreme Court predictions. Any other wild ideas? Any other wild predictions?
Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3 is coming out next year?
Man, you are hopeful.
No,
Half-Life
3. You asked for a wild prediction. I just like.
I mean, that's wild.
The only thing I could think of off the top of my head. It's like that would be. Yeah.
I think the new Legend of Zelda movie is gonna suck ass. I really think it's gonna be bad.
Is that even officially confirmed yet?
It's all I know is that an Israeli producer and Nintendo were in talks for it to come out this year. Yeah. Let me see.
I don't know. It's like there's like so many big media franchises are in such like an awful state with like in terms of like projects coming out, and it has like nothing to do with like the writer's strike or anything like that. Like it's just that like these things have been just
Ew, it's live action.
I thought it was gonna be 3D.
No, there's been like two that are rumored. There's like this one, which is live action supposedly, and then there's like the animated one that's been rumored, but they haven't like ever really said anything like firm about it from like Nintendo's end. So I don't know.
Okay, so this is from Nintendo.com Japan.
A 2-star. Yeah, it says live action right there.
Live action, yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, this could be sus. I think that's what the
I
kids
just
say
don't
these
think it's
days.
going to end well because it's like they're partnering with like Marvel's like the Marvel Studios is first major investor basically.
Ew. It's supposed to be real gross.
And like Avi Arad's money comes from like Spider-Man basically. Like all of the old Spider-Man money, that's his.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I will say too, this has been a good year for film. That has been a big silver, the silver lining has been the silver screen.
Mhm.
Yeah, it has been. I actually just the other day saw the new Godzilla -1 movie. I thought that was really good too.
We've been told that it's really good.
You should see it.
Yeah, I gotta add it to the list because like I wasn't expecting much from Blue Beetle, but I think like at least
I haven't
me,
seen
John,
that one yet.
yeah,
That's on
me,
HBO
John,
now, isn't it?
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
was a fun
out.
movie.
I
It
think
was
it's
great.
on HBO. Yeah, I really liked it. I went in because I wanted to watch a movie, and then I was like, wow, I really like that. And the grandma is the best.
Okay.
Yes.
I think getting to see Susan Sarandon on screen, no matter the context, is a blessing.
Big titty bitches. Big titty bitches. I like big titty
Okay.
bitches.
Okay, I'm editing that.
Well, no, because Susan Sarandon, was out there striking, has called for free Palestine, has received negative repercussions for doing so. Like, I'm going to stand with a big booby bitch no matter what, but I stand her. Like, she is queen.
No argument there. Okay. Susan Sarandon blockbuster next year. That's my prediction.
Yes.
I don't know what's left to say about this year, right? It's just I can't say personally that this has been the worst year for me, but it has been incredibly challenging. I've seen people like go through a lot this year. We've seen the world suffer a lot. We've seen strange things happen, and we've also seen like very hopeful signs throughout the year, right? So what do you take in aggregate from 2023? I'm not sure. What I can say is that our old thesis on this show of like the contradictions being laid bare, of the dysfunction being made more plain, I think that has been like an overarching theme this year.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think like I think we've all grown in our analysis a little bit. We've all been reading a little more. We've been engaging in stuff a little bit more. I'm excited to have spent a year making content for this podcast instead of giving up. I'm excited to do the same in the coming years. But I think we're probably a little over 2 hours now. So I want to edit this and maybe get it out before New Year's Eve at least. So are there any other closing thoughts? Any other things people might have noticed? Any benedictions you want to leave to the listeners before we start to close out?
I've got nothing, so I'll leave that to you guys. I think I've said my piece for 2023 and my predictions for the new year.
Yeah. I think one final prediction I'll give is leaning more towards optimism. I think that specifically Michigan will have a lot of really good labor action because it's been kind of popping off.
I think you're right.
With some good labor action going on. So that's my final prediction.
It's a good
Yes. I think Michigan will continue its best state in the Midwest, especially. Definitely winning that race. Michigan supremacist, you know.
Great Lakes nationalism confirmed.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a pro Midwest space. We are Midwest chauvinists. If you don't like it, that's too damn bad. Spend a night in one of our 24-hour big box stores before you judge us.
I don't think any of them are 24 hours anymore.
Actually, that's true since COVID. Now I
Yeah.
think the latest they close is like what, midnight now,
Yeah.
which is still pretty good, I guess. I don't know.
It's kind of sad for like just
Are you
the
kidding?
thought
My
of like
consumer convenience has been threatened.
it's I'm only thinking about it being sad for like the youth of today. Like they don't get to walk around a mire at 2 a.m.
But that was
with
like a
their best
mostly.
friends.
But I feel like that's like a Michigan thing, just like being like at a store at 2 a.m. because like Ohio and Indiana are like cursed for that exact same reason. And I think it just goes down to the fact of like, what do you mean I can't buy liquor at midnight? What is this? I gotta wait until 7 in the morning? What is this? Who is being stopped by this?
We don't have that problem.
I think the only thing any of us can do is try to, put our best foot forward every day. That's really the lesson I learned this year, right? That's with all things, whether it's your personal life, whether it's with, political action and praxis, whether that's how you deal with people, whether that's work, whether that's the hardest thing in the world, podcasting, You got to put your best foot forward. This is
I might write a German book about it.
Right. It's like again, like Josh, what was that thing you said about your graduating class where like the guy was like doing the self-important thing because he was a journalism major?
There was one person who we had a journalism major who did like the speech for our graduating class. I don't know if this is what you're talking about. This was years ago.
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
But it was she had like made this thing about how like she's willing to fight and die for the truth, and like it was just like the most like ridiculous thing I had like ever heard at the time, and like we're all just like kind of like looking at each other like okay.
Yeah, as a podcaster, that's how I feel about my work. All right, when you get up in your $300 Costco Kirkland signature exclusive podcaster's chair, okay? When you get on the Geek Squad installed mic.
Not the Geek Squad installed mic. Come on now.
Is that hitting too close to home?
No, it's just like you need a Geek Squad to plug in a USB.
Like, do that shit yourself, man. What do you mean?
Struggling, man.
It's like, when you open up a Wikipedia tab about a topic you've never read before in your life, and you're ready to talk about it in absolutes, bro. You are a journalist. You are getting there in front of the court.
You are a journalist.
And you are subjecting yourself to judgment, to falsehoods, to misinformations, to threats on our democracy.
This is the most judgy you've ever been on the podcast.
I'm playing. I'm doing an act. I can't do this for real. The whole point being, is like, I started this project a few years ago because I needed a space to talk about things I didn't have a space to talk about in my life and maybe find validation for it. And where I'm at now is I was able to realize that the real podcast was the friends we made along the way.
Shut the fuck up.
The perceived friends he made along the way.
The parasocial, the real
parasocial relationships that you built along the way.
Exactly. So all in all I can say is thank you to everybody here for all your help with the show, for getting all of these amazing episodes we've done this year out. Thank you for our listeners for tuning in, for everybody who's provided feedback, who's provided support, who's appeared as a guest, and anyone who's, given us a way forward, whether it's like, with book recommendations, with ways to, get involved in our communities or, take part in something bigger than just the show. Sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you everybody. We will see you again in the coming year. So my best wishes, my best hopes to everybody in 2024. So this has been another Greenhouse Gaslighting joint. I will have the links to all our relevant social media at the time of release in the description below. How and where we go in the future, that remains to be seen. But for now, just go with the link tree. So until next year, folks, take care.
Bye.